It never fucking changes and it never fucking
I
fails.
know, bro. All right. Welcome, gamers, of course, to episode 88. Yes, we are 12 away from bringing our
Welcome,
triple
you
digits.
hoot nannies.
Hoot nannies, hoot
Yeah,
nannies.
yeah, you fucking hoot nannies.
This is the Backlog Bastards. I'm your host this evening, the one with the stars and the galaxies and the star fields, the Moon Man himself. I got my partner in crime, the Mr. Peace, Love, Life, the legendary one himself, Yobi-san, and of course,
What up, peoples? What up? What up? What up?
of course, we be our unfiltered and unapologetic souls, keep it a buck. And tonight we're going to share our thoughts on a number of topics, including the Microsoft Xbox price increase escapade, which seems to have divided the
Divided the community
community.
once again.
Yeah. As usual with anything, the only thing that seems to be positive and brings everyone together seems to be their shows. And then after the show, it's just like something comes out, divides the community. It is what it is.
Yep, per usual. Per usual.
We've also got some Sonic news. We got, and I will bring it up on the screen because my
Sonic
God,
news, what?
yeah, we got some Sonic news
Ooh, do tell, do tell.
pertaining to wanting to make an RPG finally. Um, we've gotten 30 years of Sonic with no RPGs, so they're looking to take a Mario formula there. Uh, I'm gonna put the next one on the screen because Yobi, if you haven't seen them already, you're gonna want to check these out. Bandai Namco and Nike are teaming up for a Tekken sneaker, and my God, do they look freaking awesome! Uh,
Tekken sneaker, okay.
yeah, they look really really good.
What's up, Trinity? That's fucking fire. A Tekken sneaker?
Yeah. And then, of course, we've got some news. We'll finish out the night with some news on the DC movie and TV show slate, everything that's on its way, as well as some news on Nicolas Cage's Spider Noir series, where it's got some new
Spooky.
cast.
When you hear me talking, like, am I coming through loud enough?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay.
Loud and clear. Of course, shout out to the chat already. The rocking one's already rocking out in here, Miss Trinity. Good to see you, love. And of course, we've got some lurkers lurking. But as we do at the top of every show, before we get into topics, Yobi-san, what you been playing, brother?
I have been playing Starfield, of course.
Yes.
Starfield, aka Starfield modded as Star Wars, you know. Um, I'm a female Twilight Mandalorian.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, she's kind of and I recently started I think like a playthrough like a few like last week.
Right.
And he's using the mods and stuff. So I automatically use some cheat mods and got out to level 400 because what I do is when I do that, and then I'll use some more mods to every time I encounter like enemies.
Right.
Out of all those enemies, it'll probably be like one or two of them who has starborn powers,
Mm,
and they're level 100 and up. So
nice.
it doesn't matter if it doesn't matter what level I am, they're gonna whoop your ass, dude. Like it's insane, bro. Because I'm just saying. So yeah, that, bro. And plus,
Nice.
I'm just doing more. I did the whole the UC quest line. I'm gonna try to do more of the quest line so I can unlock certain ship parts so I could build because I found this video where I could build a badass like a bounty hunter type ship. So, but I
Mm.
need all the parts first. Once I do that, I'm gonna follow this guy and I'm gonna build that ship hopefully. That I've been playing WWE 2K24 on Xbox. I'm planning on getting 2K24 tomorrow on PC. Shout out Spooky for showing me all those crazy ass mods. It's fucking ridiculous.
Oh, bro, like that reshade mod does wonders.
Crazy,
It does
crazy,
wonders, yeah.
insane, insane.
Um, I even liked how the guy, even when you go check it out, the guy puts side by side comparison of what the rock looks like normally in the game before you turn it
Mhm,
on, and then once you
mhm.
turn the reshade. And again, it was it would have been a lot of work, but it's just simple things of, reshading, changing some colors, changing the angles of the camera, the lighting, everything like that. And I'm sitting
Yeah.
there going, good lord, he's made it look even more. I didn't think it was possible. He's made it look even more realistic again. I'm sitting there going, 2K needs to hire this dude. 2K
Hmm.
needs to hire this guy because he sat there and he went through hours and hours and hours of Raw, SmackDown, NXT pay per view, watched how they delivered it to the
As you
audience.
should. Good man. That's a good
Yeah,
man.
yeah, and picked up
And I've
all his
been
ideas from
playing.
there.
Yeah, and I've been playing. What's the name of it? Project? Is it Project Zone X? Is this game on three? Project X Zone.
All right,
It is
yeah,
on the 3DS, right?
yeah. Mm.
I can't make it put me up on this game. It is a tactical RPG game.
Ooh, okay.
And listen, it starts out as like a few Capcom players, right? Like
Yeah.
like like a few Capcom guys. Then as I'm playing it, Ryu and Ken pop up.
Ooh,
And then
nice.
Jin pops up. And then Frank West pops up. Yeah,
Frank
a
West.
lot of a whole bunch of people pop. I'm like, yo, what the hell is this? And I look up and it said it's a collaboration between Capcom fighters, Namco fighters,
Mm.
more Capcom. Like it's a whole bunch of IPs all in one game, and it's
That's insane.
never been a fan of like tactical fight
Right.
games. Never been my
Yeah.
shit, but that shit I enjoy, bro. It's fucking fun as hell. So that is on my docket. What else? I've been playing. There's so many games I picked up on Steam like last week. I remember I told you about it, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't remember the names right now. And I also been playing. You remember I told you I got a modern 3DS, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So I was able to put like a whole bunch of fan-made games, like fan-made Pokemon games. So I
Oh,
w-
nice,
I
nice.
went through Pokemon Ruby is basically a fan version of a revamp Pokemon game where, because you play a Pokemon game, it's easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
the dude cranked that motherfucker up to like extreme mode. So when you first start off, your first battle, it's a 50-50 chance. I say 75% chance you're gonna lose that damn battle.
It's like
Well,
the Elden Ring of Pokemon.
I hate you, bro.
uh,
I hate you. So, so I'm telling you, in my first gym, dude, I lost 4 times. My first gym battle.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was like, and bro, and I had a level 25 Pokemon. No, I had a level 16, and their Pokemon was level 35 and 40 and 45. I was like, yo, how the fuck I supposed to beat this dude? So I had to go back, power up, get from level 16 to level 35,
Mm.
and I lost the first battle by an inch because the dude that his last Pokemon had one red dip of life
Inch.
left, and I
That's
used my
much.
attack, but he was fast. This Pokemon had more speed, so he ended up getting attacking first. Then I attacked, but instead of my attack going through, his attack went through again because his Pokemon was faster than mine, and I lost. Then the second fight, I went through it again, then I won. But it was bullshit, bro. It was some
Oh, I can
bullshit.
imagine. But hey, at least he's up the challenge, like you said. He's up the ante, big
Yeah,
time.
everybody, bro, everybody. That and I've downloaded I just downloaded a whole bunch of Pokemon fan made games, so like, I'm just adding more games to the backlog. But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, I'm happy,
Can
and
never have enough games, bro.
you're damn right. And I was playing this shit at work one day. I was playing it's actually Devil May Cry Pico Comeback on mobile.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
fun as hell. I
Yeah.
was playing it literally at first with touch control. Then I found out I can use controllers.
Mm.
So I'm like, okay. So when I get back into this, I am playing this on controller because since we're out of season, it's slow as hell. So I'll be playing this shit when I'm at work. So
Nice. Nice.
other than that, that's what I've been doing, man. I just
Nice.
been
Good variety,
chilling, man,
man.
living day by day. Just
Yeah.
happy to see another day.
Good variety. Good variety.
Oh yeah.
I actually got started, as you can see on the screen here, with Final
Final
Fantasy.
motherfucking fantasy. That
Yeah,
game looks so fucking beautiful.
it does, bro.
So
Yeah,
beautiful. So
yeah.
fucking beautiful. Jeez.
Cool. This is just part one. They've split it into three parts, but man,
Hmm.
I've been loving it. I've been loving the story, loving the combat. Game runs good as hell on PC.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice,
it's fantastic, man. Um,
nice.
and
When they finally drop that whole on Xbox, I will be buying that motherfucker. I can't wait.
oh yeah, yeah. I
Oh yeah,
mean,
hell yeah.
they've got the
That
obviously the,
and that and what's the other third party exclusive that Sony got? Stellar Blade and what's the other one? It came out in 2022.
uh,
It had the black main
um,
character, the female.
um,
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Forspoken, is it?
Forspoken. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't wait
yeah.
for Forspoken to come over too. Can't wait. I can't wait, bro.
I know finally. Is it out yet? I don't know if it's out for Xbox. I know it's coming though.
It's coming next year.
Kenna Bridge Spirits.
Kenna Bridges Spirit is out and Forspoken is coming
Yeah,
next year because next year the 2 year exclusive will be up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The actress. I like the actress that played that role.
Oh yeah, she's cool as
She's.
shit. She's cool as shit.
I'm trying to think. What was the last thing I actually seen her in, other than obviously the game? She'd been doing a lot of stuff, and then she popped up in the game. I'm like, hey, I recognize her. But that
Is
looks
it,
pretty cool.
isn't she from is it is it she from around where you're from, like from like in your area right now?
No, no, she's
No.
from England. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty
Okay,
sure.
okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's British. It's like it's like Tom Holland, man. I didn't realize until he actually spoke properly, where he was
Yeah,
from.
me either. I thought he was a full American. When I heard him speak
Um,
for real, I was like, wait, what?
yeah, it's just
Fucking
like
badass.
another person that tripped people out is Andrew Lincoln, right? So everybody's so used to hearing
Yes.
him speak really southern in The Walking
Hmm.
Dead, and then you see him in an interview and the British accent, and you're like, what?
Her name is Ella Balenska.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah,
wow.
the chick who plays Forspoken, her name is Ella Balenska.
Yes, yes, that's her. Yeah, but
Yeah, she's
no, so I've been
gorgeous, gorgeous woman.
playing this, playing more of Ghost of Tsushima. Uh,
Nice.
played some. Oh, you've been playing WWE. Been checking out a little bit of AEW as well because there's been a
Hmm.
whole bunch of new content and new people added to that.
Yeah,
And
yeah. They just dropped their final DLC.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, they got and they've done well with that. As I said, like we've discussed it. I love that it takes you back to the good old days of the N64 and
Oh yeah,
No Mercy and WrestleMania 2000 and
it was spooky. I'll be right back. I
yeah,
gotta
you're good,
go
bro.
get my food. It's at the door.
What was the other one? WCW NWO Revenge was another good one back then. You had three really good wrestling games on the 64. But my dragon wants to try and leap off the fucking table here. Uh, but yeah, no, I've been playing a bit of that. And I checked out last night Forza Motorsport again. I check it out at least once a week, all the updates and everything that have come through. They'd split this latest one into two updates apparently, so there's a second part to this update. But yeah, doing a bit of game hopping myself. So yeah, been checking out a lot of things. But this Final Fantasy game just goes in. I'm telling you, can't wait for Rebirth now to finally hit. Also looking forward to Final Fantasy 16 coming to PC as well. I don't know what'll come first though. If 16 will drop first on PC or Rebirth, but we'll have to wait and see. But fantastic games nonetheless. All right, well, let's get into the topic, shall we? First topic, which big elephant in the room. And I always say this: Microsoft seems to take some steps forwards and then they take steps back. So like they put on a hell of a bloody showcase recently, and they get all the good vibes and positive vibes, and everybody's all enjoying it. And you just wait for that hammer to drop, or the pin to drop, whatever. And here we go. You know, so in the last 24 hours, they've split the community once again. It's happened again. It's like here we go again. Uh, split the community on two things, not just the price increase. Uh, there's a new Microsoft advertisement that emphasizes and highlights that you don't need an Xbox console to play Xbox. And we know this has been their messaging for a while, but um, there's a lot of their console gamers that only want to stick to console that are up in arms about this. I know Chuck, he doesn't like this. Shout out to the brother because he
Sorry about that.
feels you're right, bro. He feels that, especially now with this advertisement, even more emphasizing it, that there's quite a few people that feel that the console player gets treated like a second-class citizen to mobile and PC by Microsoft. With the new advert, obviously, it was, as I said, they emphasize you don't need an Xbox console, and you can play their games without the dedicated consoles. Now, this was to do with the Amazon Fire TV stick that they were advertising, where you can play the games. So players have to install and launch the Xbox app from their Fire TV device, sign in with their account, sign up for GamePass Ultimate if they haven't already, and connect a controller, and off they go. But we the new advert promoting the launch of it on Amazon devices, which takes the form of a Scream parody, is titled "No Xbox, Have No Fear" with Amazon Fire TV Stick. Viewable
Mm.
above, it hammers home the point that you can play Xbox games without buying or purchasing their console. And as I said, this is just one part of the news that came out in the last 24 hours that has people up in arms and all that. This for me doesn't, like, this part of it doesn't really obviously affect me because I'm on PC, but it doesn't affect me like it's obviously clearly affecting other people,
Mm.
because they've stuck with this messaging from the get-go. And I said from the get-go too, I said, look, if they themselves want to complain or be up in arms, like I'm talking about Microsoft and their execs, etc., of why the
Mhm.
console's not selling, all they have to do is look in a mirror, because it's essentially their own fault. From the get-go, they put out this... So it's the only grievance I've had, and I feel for console players that do feel like a second-class citizen with them. They made this really, really great console in the Series X, the best console that's probably ever been put out on the market,
Mhm.
by any company. And I'm not taking the fan or the gamer approach here. I'm taking from a business approach. I'm sitting there thinking, now you're going to make a product. Isn't your job to sell it? Sell people on it, get them to buy it, and they really never did. From the get go, they've been, um, you don't need our console to play our games, because they were pushing cloud. They had a deal, or they started a deal early in the piece with Samsung. I know they're getting a deal done with LG now as well, where it would
Right,
just
be
be
right
an app.
back.
You're good. It would be an app on the television. They said, if you've got a handheld device, if you've got a PC, if you've got a mobile phone, you can access our games on that. So essentially saying, you've probably got something in your home, you don't need to go and spend the money. Um, and so we know that's been their push. Part of that push is because, the whole time they've been looking 15, 20 plus years down the track. They are at the forefront of innovation this generation. There's no doubt about it. Cloud gaming is going to be something big eventually, once the internet around the world is at a standard that's going to be able to deliver cloud how cloud's meant to be delivered. Cloud right now, it depends on where you live. You can have some good gaming time on the cloud. In a lot of other areas, it's very hit and miss due to the internet, obviously, because cloud's just internet based. So it's still a ways off before that's really a
I'm
big
back.
thing.
Sorry about
No,
that.
you're good, bro. So I can understand people's grievances if
Hmm.
they're solely a console gamer. Like, okay, yeah, you feel like a second class citizen, you know, and they're not. I I do agree with Chuck in one sense, and I know Chuck's one of the old heads that are like this. That I do think they gave up, at least just in the console space, a bit too soon.
Hmm.
Uh, I said, but I took still a more realistic approach. That yes, you did the damage last generation. You've admitted that. Phil's admitted that they lost the generation. They really couldn't afford to lose because last generation was when people they started doing the whole digital thing and people started building their digital libraries. But I thought, you know, as with every new generation, it's like a reset, a starting point again. And they could have come out and tried to sell the console straight off the bat and seen how they go. Um,
Right.
they didn't necessarily have to beat Nintendo and PlayStation. They wouldn't never have probably touched Nintendo, as we're well aware with Nintendo's Switch. It just outsells
Hmm.
both the big boys in reality. Um, but they could have competed a little bit better with
Right.
Sony and really made Sony look over the shoulder like, oh, okay, damn. Now obviously, one and see this is before the point too. I'm talking about before the actual point that the industry started to realize that the console market is stagnant. It's not going to grow anymore. It's grown as much as it's grown, and they all started to realize that. So this is before that point. In the first few years of this generation, and as I said, that so I agree with Chuck. They really should have pushed it. You know, Chuck comes from a business. He's been in business all his life, and so I understood where he was coming from. Going, well, okay. I mean, it'd be like Samsung or LG coming out and putting their new TV out there, but not marketing it, and it just
Hmm.
expecting it to sell. And I think that's what Microsoft kind of thought initially. Like, I would just put this out there, say it's the most powerful thing, but they didn't do anything more with it. Uh, so that's a them problem. That's on their marketing and such. But again, then as I said, there's the flip side. They could see the future. They obviously quite clearly knew early on uh, we're not going to be able to really truly compete in the console market with these other two. These other two are like miles freaking ahead.
Hmm.
Um, and so they waved the white flag and they changed direction and they changed the way that they're going to go about things. Uh, and this just emphasized it more. And so I seen a lot of people like this is BS and why are we getting treated like second class citizens to PC gamers and mobile? Because essentially moving forward for Microsoft, especially mobile, that was something that they hadn't really been in.
Hmm.
That's like their number one priority. And I knew the whole time when they went for ABK and because they were going to get King, I knew that that was going to take top priority because everybody's got a mobile phone, you know.
Right.
Not
You
everybody
right about that. You are
yeah,
right about that.
yeah. So not everybody in the world has a console. Not everybody in the world has a PC.
True
Everybody in the
that. That's
world
another one.
yeah, everybody in the world has some sort of mobile phone. So that's why I knew instantly that would take top priority for them. And then second of all,
Mm.
yeah, I can understand PC does take it, but like I say to people, before they were in consoles, they were so attached and ingrained with PC. They have the number one operating system that runs PCs, you know, so
Mm.
they come from PC. That's their background before even the original Xbox, you know,
Right.
and so
Right. Right. Right.
they were almost to a point with on the PC side of things putting Apple out of business, and then they helped save and recuperated Apple when Apple then took off of themselves. But uh,
Hmm.
So yeah, I can understand people being a bit up in arms about it, but I think it's at a point now that with that marketing strategy and where they're going with it, you just kind of got to roll with it now. You know, it's their strategy. It's the way they want. They came up with the idea that they wanted to reach, was it 3 billion people around the world, right? They quickly realised they weren't going to be able to do that if they had just said, "Oh, you got to play our games on the console." So they had to broaden their horizons, broaden their minds, and go, "Okay, have you got this device in your house, or this device, or you got this TV? Now you got this Fire Stick, or you buy the Fire." So, and a Fire Stick is a lot cheaper to buy than a console, even. So, you know, they're trying to reach that goal at the same time as make it as accessible as possible. And so if you've
Right.
got a handheld, if you've got a computer or a laptop, if you've got a certain TV brand, if you've got the Fire Stick, um, if you've got a mobile phone, you're going to be able to access their games essentially everywhere, excluding, you know, Nintendo or PlayStation, um, unless they bring their games over there. So that's just how it is. The second part of this is probably the one that really more divided the community, the Xbox community. So I had a feeling, I think you yourself, brother, would have had a feeling, and there's a lot of us that had a feeling the minute they started implementing ABK games into Game Pass, especially Call of Duty, that there was going to be a price increase. Uh,
Spooky. I mean, number one, duh.
yeah, you know,
We
everything's
talking
going
like
up.
yeah, you're bringing the ABK catalog, right?
Yeah.
Number one, and number two, the biggest money maker of that catalog is Call of Duty. You fucking right. Some changes to Game Pass was gonna come, and a lot of people wasn't gonna like it, but I digress. Please continue.
No, you're good. Hey, shout out to Carlo, the man, the myth, the legend himself in the chat.
Clowns, what up, brother?
What's
Love you, man.
good?
Good to see you.
Much love, brother. Much love. But yeah, Xbox Game Pass gets a price increase. This comes from pure Xbox and new standard subscription tier. So
Hmm.
the new standard tier will not include games released on day one. Now, I could understand with this particular tier people questioning it, like, well, really, what the fuck is the point? What's the point of it if you're not going to have access? Like, what really is the point? So there's been multiple reports about Microsoft potentially increasing the price of its Game Pass subscription service for a little while now and adding more tiers ahead of the arrival of Activision game releases. And it's now been officially confirmed. So in an update on the support page, Microsoft announced it would be increasing the prices of Game Pass and also introducing a new standard subscription tier, $14.99 US per month, which notably won't come with day one games. So
Right.
the standard gives you hundreds of high quality games to play on your console. It also features all the benefits of Game Pass Core, such as online console multiplayer and select member deals and discounts, including up to 50% off select games.
Right.
However, Game Pass Standard will not include games released on day one. So essentially, just as an example, uh, uh, Indiana Jones comes out. If you're only on the standard, you're not going to get it straight away. Anyway, so as for the rest of the price increases, so Game Pass Ultimate will jump from what is it, 16.99, jump from sixteen
It's
ninety
twenty
nine
ninety
a
nine.
month, yeah, to 19.99. The PC Game Pass, the
That's a
price,
sweet spot for me. The 20, the 99. That's a fucking sweet spot.
yeah, yeah, $20. For PC Game Pass, the price will be adjusted from 9.99 to 11.99, so $2 difference.
Mhm.
And the new standard tier will be made obviously in the coming months. It will replace Game Pass for console, which is no longer available to new members. For now, existing subscribers will be able to continue to enjoy this membership if automatic payment renewal is enabled.
Right.
So, um, now the price changes will take effect, I believe today, July 10th, for new members. As for existing members, new prices will be applied on September 12th, with select
Mhm.
countries excluded. Along with this, as of September 18th, the maximum extension limit of Game Pass for console for existing users will be 13 months. So, interesting there. They provided more details on it as well.
Mhm.
So, in the wee hours of the morning over in the UK, it was announced that now is the right time to announce sweeping changes. But what's more interesting is that the new standard tier has provided a bit more detail on the new Game Pass option with even more information coming soon about it.
Mhm.
So you still will get a lot of benefits with that tier, but it's the essentially the not getting the day and date with that. So I would imagine that most people are probably going to skip over that unless they absolutely sort of they couldn't afford to go up to ultimate and they had to get that. But I think most people are going to find more benefit with ultimate
Mhm.
because the whole point and one of the big pushes for Game Pass is the whole day and date thing.
Right.
But if you're on a tier that you can't access that, it's not essentially going to be beneficial for you. So that is going to be interesting. And then um,
Oh,
another,
did,
yes,
did
yes.
you know that Rockstar low key they have their own streaming service too? I don't know if you noticed it.
No, I didn't notice that. I didn't at
I don't.
all.
I mean, everybody knows the name of it, but they didn't know that it is what it was. So you know that the shit they got a thing called GTA Plus.
Yes, yes.
So I found out maybe like a bit like a little bit before I let it lapse that it has the Grand Theft Auto the definitive edition
Oh, okay.
all through the remaster that came out.
Yeah, yeah.
They have those three games on it.
Oh, okay.
So I feel
Nice.
like I feel like starting off they have those three and then I think over time they're probably gonna add Grand Theft Auto 4, Grand Theft Auto 5. This is like Grand Theft Auto 4, they probably gonna add that tomorrow. But GTA
Mm,
5, they probably gonna add like years and years later. But this they can literally add the old Grand Theft Auto 1, Grand Theft Auto
mm.
2, Grand Theft Auto 2 London, Grand Theft Auto China Wars, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, all the 360 ports and all that shit. They
Nice.
could easy add all that into their little small streaming service. And it's only like I think like $5, $6 a month.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it's not bad at all.
Um, what else was there? Oh, so Xbox Game Pass changes now, partly because Microsoft isn't seeing strong enough growth, claims an analyst. It's one
Mhm.
factor that's influenced this move. So, uh, who was it? Daniel Ahmad has provided some insight as to part of the reason behind these changes to Xbox subscription plans. Well-known analyst has taken to Twitter to try and explain one factor that influenced this move from Team Xbox. In short, Ahmad says that the slow growth outside of console means that Xbox seemingly wants to push its console user base to the higher tiers of Game Pass. He says,
Mhm.
and I quote, one factor that influenced this move is that Game Pass is not seeing strong growth beyond the current Xbox console install base. Therefore, the goal for current console gamers is to incentivize an upgrade to the higher or the highest priced ultimate tier with day one game slash cloud gaming. That's the other thing you won't
Right.
get with the standard tier, no cloud gaming as well. Uh,
Mhm.
PC and mobile gamers haven't purchased Game Pass at the rate Microsoft expected from PC and mobile, and this cohort is where user growth needs to come from, which is why Game Pass PC tier will still have day one games. Uh,
Mhm.
so it's curious to note here that Ahmad believes this slow growth outside of console is why PC Game Pass will still get day one releases at a much lower cost than any of the console options. I know that's kind of pissed people off too on the console. Like, why are they getting treated this way? You know, it's the whole bizzo that I've seen around the last 24 hours.
Right,
Um,
right.
and then pure Xboxes gathered themselves, so it was good just to see it all come into one place. The reaction, as I'm pertaining to at the moment, Microsoft's constant, and they put it this way: Microsoft's constant tweaking of Xbox Game Pass is becoming absolutely exhausting. Just pick a plan and stick with it, they say. Gotta love it. Straight to the point. Um, so I quote from Pure Xbox. So they said, so once again, Game Pass is changing. Following last year's introduction of Game Pass Core comes a fresh replacement for console Game Pass in the form of Xbox Game Pass Standard, which sits just underneath Game Pass Ultimate. Keeping up?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's all becoming a bit exhausting to follow now, isn't it? Don't get us wrong, we've long thought that the console tier of Game Pass has felt like the unloved child of Microsoft's subscription service lineup. The lack of
Oh God.
yeah, I love it. I love the way to put it. The lack of online access combined with how much more you get with an ultimate subscription has made it feel a bit pointless, to be honest. And yet the company's latest tweak feels like it again misses the mark, especially with how vague the standard tier is right now. All we really
Mhm.
know is that some day one games won't be available straight away on the standard tier, alongside the lack of EA Play and cloud gaming access, of course. There are no hints as to what those day one games might be or when, if they'll be added later. Just that standard
Mhm.
is a downgraded version of Game Pass Ultimate for just a little bit less money each month. Seriously, did we need another Game Pass library to keep track of Microsoft? And this is the thing, even as some of the most engaged Xbox customers out there were becoming exhausted with the constant changing, flip-flopping and adding slash removing of Game Pass options, a few years
Mhm.
back, Microsoft tried to hugely increase the price of Xbox Live Gold before swiftly reversing its decision due to the outcry from the community. And ever since then, it's felt like the team has been constantly meddling with Game Pass instead. Can we just pick a plan and stick with it? Xbox Live Gold was around for decades as largely the same service from the outset. Now, we will admit that the general feeling around Xbox at the moment is probably contributing to a lot of people's frustrations. It's not just Game
Mhm.
Pass that's constantly being shifted around. Microsoft's entire Xbox strategy seems to be as well. Case by case seems to be Xbox's mantra with basically everything these days, and we're really hoping for more clarity and stability moving forward. Uh, and again, it's I've seen comments like, one comment here I picked up and sort of saved for this segment on Twitter was, um, this guy goes, honestly, being an Xbox customer this generation has been absolutely exhausting. Console users are being treated like third class citizens by Microsoft. We have to pay to play online, whereas PC players don't. And now we have to pay more to have any version of Game Pass and way more to get games day one compared to PC. It seems that PC takes priority over console with Microsoft, and this comes after the shift in strategy where most, if not all, Xbox exclusives are eventually heading to PlayStation 5 or the Nintendo Switch. Um, he goes, funny how literally just yesterday I was just thinking to myself, Xbox has been on a streak lately. Maybe they are finally done with screw ups, and hours later they announced this next generation. I'm out if it still exists this way. And another
See,
guy.
Spooky, here's the thing about that. He's gonna be real. wh- Okay, I think majority of these guys like to play stupid.
Mm,
This is not
yeah.
Xbox making this move. This is Microsoft.
Yes.
Simple
Yes.
as that.
Coming from the
But
top.
continue, please.
This guy on X as well, Ryan T. He says Game Pass has irreversibly damaged the industry by altering customer behavior to what is
The
mentally.
fuck?
I
Okay.
know.
Never mind. Go ahead.
No, I know. Behavior to what is
Okay.
mentally treated like not having to pay for games. The Spotify effect. It has eroded value perception of games pushed towards
The
play later
Spotify
fails.
split. No, 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 no. If you want, no, 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 no. No, keep that same energy. You want to
I know.
if you want to compare it to games, Spotify effect, Netflix effect, Netflix effect, Disney Plus's effect,
Yeah.
Tubi effect. Like,
Yeah.
come on, bro. Like, don't do that. Apple Music, like Napster, like, dog. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah. No, but you're not exactly. You're not wrong. There's so many more out there. Um, another person out there. As I said, there's
That's all I
the
always
community.
say. If they don't, if y'all gonna keep that same energy, keep the same energy across the board where it applies to. You say,
Um,
oh, Game Pass is training you not no, no, not to buy
now,
games. Okay, and PlayStation's premium service training you not to buy games.
yeah,
Um, 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 Ubisoft premium service is training you not to buy games.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
bro, stop it, dog. Like, let's be
exactly.
honest.
And it's not going to. At the end of the day, they can complain about that, but it's not going away.
Hmm.
Um,
Exactly.
Now this one goes in depth more about the cost difference here, and I can agree with this, and
Hmm.
understand why people would be a bit annoyed with this, right? So this guy says, so Xbox
And trust me,
gamers,
I do understand 100%, but go ahead.
yeah, this actually puts it a little bit in perspective, and I can understand why the console gamer feels wrongly done by over the PC gamer when it comes to Microsoft. We won't say Xbox, like you said, we'll say Microsoft. He said, so
Hmm.
Xbox gamers must pay $20 a month, $240 a year. Obviously, he's talking about Ultimate, to get
Of
games
course.
on day one on Game Pass. But PC subscribers only need to pay $12 a month, $144 a year. Oof. That's almost, if you're going by the yearly thing, that's almost
I
$100.
understand
Yeah.
what they're saying, but here's the funny thing about that. PC community versus the console community, that's a different type of ball game. That's a
Yeah.
different time of that's a different type of ball game, and that's a different type of energy.
Yes. Yeah. Like I've
Yes,
said for the longest.
and yes, console players have to pay extra to play online versus the PC community who doesn't.
Hmm,
That's two different damn monsters. When it comes to PC versus
exactly.
console, the PC will eat the console's ass every fucking time.
Yeah.
But
And and
please
and
continue, bro.
and besides that is the PC community. They they're very very. I mean, I know I'm a part of it, but they're
They don't
very
fuck
very
around.
boisterous. No. And
They don't fuck
so,
around.
for example, I'll use an example. When the consoles started going towards $70 games, PC's like,
Hmm.
nah, nah,
Yeah.
we pay what we
Nah,
pay and
the,
that's it.
the the PC community said you like I dare any one of you bitches to take your game $70.
Yeah,
It's going two reactions gonna happen there. One, they go they, they gonna steal your games.
yep, yes,
And
yeah,
number two, they go find a way to either get your game. One, they're gonna steal. They go pirate your game, and two is either if they don't feel like pirating, they're just gonna like okay, they're gonna wipe their hands with your whole entire game and just don't support it at all.
yeah, exactly. Or they'll wait,
Hmm.
or three, they'll just wait for a bloody sale.
There you
So
go. There you
that's
go.
just what. And you know, again, like I understand, I hear the complaints of, "Oh, why do we have to pay for online and they don't?" Because it's a different breed. It's
Right,
completely different breed. Uh,
right.
like you mentioned. And then Trin makes some good points in the chat. She goes, "I've been with gold since the OG Xbox. Not surprised that the prices are raising up nowadays. It's nothing new, really." And she said,
Hmm.
"Man, I remember when
I remember
Xbox
when Xbox Live
Gold
Gold
was
was twenty
19.
dollars for a
Yep,
year.
yep,
Ah, yeah, I
yeah."
remember that. Good
And that
old
was
days.
that was good freaking value. But
Oh
see,
hell yeah.
it has to be treated differently because they're two different kettles of fish. It's like when I've
Yep.
gotten into disagreements sometimes with these knuckleheads on X, and they want to go, PC is a direct competitor to PlayStation. I'm like, no, it's goddamn
No,
not.
they not.
No, it's not. I said, no. What? I said, what? I said, you just pretty much said it.
PC will always take a shit on consoles. Period.
Yeah, and a
Period.
PC is a PC. It's there's no that C in the
It's a
P
personal
and the
computer.
C. Yeah, exactly. That C is not console; it's computer. And
Right.
so I'm
Exactly.
sitting
Hey,
there
good
going,
man.
you
Good
cannot.
man.
I couldn't understand for the life of me why they were comparing it and saying, oh, it's a direct compare. Like, you got the Sony, you go, oh no, they can't put their games over because that's a direct compare. I'm like,
PC
are
is not a
you
fucking competitor.
I'm like, are you? I said, if you build a PC with the latest, absolute latest technology, I said it's going to run circles around the damn console. There's just no if
Of
buts about
course.
it. It's no comparison. So I tell you what,
Of course.
if I was a console maker, I sure as hell wouldn't want to have that in the conversation as a competitor because
Yeah,
you just
exactly.
get beaten every time because the difference is as we're all well aware Um, Consoles are locked in box. The only thing that you can essentially change with them is the storage. That's it.
Right.
Whereas a PC, you can change every goddamn part in the damn thing. So
Yep.
you want newer, better memory, you can get newer, better memory. You want a bigger, better graphics card, you can get a bigger, better graphics card. So it's an
Exactly.
ever changing landscape, and so they've got to handle it differently, and see
Got that
the
right.
consumer bases react differently. And so, the thing is too that I don't get is they're still whinging about paying for online. It's like you've been paying for online for how many freaking years now? And
Been
it's
playing. We've been playing for online since what? Just I guess they introduced it.
yeah,
Like when it comes to console, Xbox is OGX was their first
yeah,
system. I
yeah,
think they introduced payment to PlayStation on the PS3, if I'm not mistaken.
mm, yeah, exactly.
And if I'm being honest with you, Spooky, the fact that I have to go online on my console and pay a subscription fee every month to for online gaming, bro, that shit does not bother me. Like it comes with the
No,
territory.
no, exactly. And so again, I can understand some people's gripes that they've got legitimate gripes there. Other people, I think, are just whinging for the sake of whinging. Uh,
Hmm.
One thing I noted was, well, they're essentially following suit with everybody else. Netflix just had price increases. Disney Plus has had price increase. HBO Max has had price increases. Everything in the
I
world.
don't pay for Max because that when I got my what it was my shit my internet my AT&T my fiber,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
they would say, yo, they said sign up for fiber today and you get an HBO Max on us. I was like, thank you.
yeah. I'll take
I
that
don't
deal.
pay I don't pay for a lick of Max, so
but
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
hey, like as with anything in the world today, everything has taken a price increase. Um,
Yep.
it's funny, and I've said this many times. That I find it funny that everything's increased in price, but no one in the world has had their wages increased to match to match the fucking price increase of everything else.
Boogie, isn't that isn't that fucked up?
Yeah, the cost of living has gone up exponentially, but
Hmm.
yet wages have not to match the rising costs. I mean, gas alone has jumped up exponentially, and it's like people need to get to work. They need gas in their car. Like, what are we doing? Like, you
Lucky
know,
for me, my job is literally like a few blocks over, so I just walk to work.
yeah,
And it
that's
take
all
me
right.
like 15 minutes
Uh,
to get there.
Yeah, two legs and a heartbeat, brother.
Yeah, right,
Walk
right,
around.
right.
But yeah, I mean, look, the only thing out of this that I I mean, it's just me. I'm looking at it as more pointless. It might not be pointless for other people because they'll be like, well, it's an entry point and that's all we can
Of
afford at
course.
the moment. But when you really sort of go over how they've described the standard here,
Mhm.
for a lot of people, it will be pointless. Like, I wouldn't go on it. You wouldn't go on it. Like, you're not getting day one with it if you're not getting cloud access, you know. But hopefully they'll clarify one thing because they haven't exactly spec the wording that they've used is some day one games. So does that
Right.
mean they're going to be selective when maybe Indiana Jones does hit that tier, maybe it doesn't, or maybe it doesn't, but Stalker 2 does. Like
Mhm.
it could be either or. So I hope they do actually at least come out and clarify: is it all day one that's going to miss that tier, or is it just going to be select ones that you go, okay, this one can go in that tier, but this one's not. Um,
Right. That makes sense.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's. But at the end of the day, as I said, like there will be people that still find it beneficial for the, that might be all they can afford. They'll still, as I said, get access to their online multiplayer. They'll still get the select member
Right.
deals and discounts,
Mhm.
and select 50% off selected games. So there's still benefits there, but it's just not having that cloud access. And I'll just work with a hypothetical right now. If it is all new games that won't hit it, then a lot of, especially the hardcore gamers, are going to be like, nah, well, what's a few more dollars for Ultimate, essentially. So
That
Yeah.
shouldn't have bothered me. I'm gonna be with you. Like I understand for it bothering other people. I
Mm.
understand that frustration. But honestly, bro, that shit does not bother me. But it does not bother me at all. What's up, J-Paul? Um,
What's good, Dread? The man with the mythical beard.
man, mythical beard. Yeah, it doesn't bother me. Like it's gonna happen
No.
regardless. Just like when all these companies do their price increases on some of their streaming service. Like I use a lot of streaming services, but if it gets to the point where I'm not using a lot of them, I would cancel a lot of them, and then it just be what it is. And then if I want to go back to them, I'll just re up just for that 1 month, et cetera, and
Yeah,
then let it last. So it's
exactly.
like an on and off thing, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the same man. Like I sign up to PC Game Pass when there's things that they interest me. If there's nothing in there that interests, because I do buy most of my games on Steam, being on PC,
All right,
and a few on Epic. But yeah, it's there though. That's the thing that I like. It's there when you need it. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Like I signed back up for Hellblade um, because it's essentially a one and done game,
All
and it's
right.
not a long game. I was like, yeah, I don't. I was humming and hawing. I'm like, do I want to pay full price for it or not? And then I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
I'll just play it in Game Pass. You know, it's not like you're okay at playing like that type of prize for say a
Oh
game
yeah, I
like
feel you. I feel you 100%.
Yakuza or Fate Samurai Rent, where you've got a good 40, 50, whatever hours, Baldur's Gate through all them, like that is worth it. And a lot of
Mhm.
them Starfield, right? Because there's also replay value there and there's length. But Game Pass is good if you want to not buy the game to own because it's short and you can just get in there and you have your playthrough and then done. So uh,
Right.
it's got its benefits there. It really does. But look,
Yeah.
they've done this now. People probably should expect maybe in another few years they might have to do another price increase because of whatever's going on in the times if everything else is going up again. So it
Mhm.
is what it is. Hopefully they. I've said the whole time. Hopefully they never reach like the $30 freaking a month mark. But you
I
just
hope that same,
yeah,
same.
you know, 25, you could probably get away with, I reckon if they jumped up another $5 eventually at some point. But yeah, you still got to be real careful because the whole point of it is to make it as accessible possible for people. And it is supposed to be that money saver for, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that can't buy games regularly as other gamers. And so Game
All
Pass
right.
works for them because they can be like, you know what, can't buy this game now, but we have access to this game now, so we can play it, and we will buy it at some point.
Hmm. Good
So,
man.
uh, but then I seen some like ridiculous freaking comments come out from this. Like this one guy, I saved his comment. Tom Ambulance is his name. He said, I couldn't get over it. I'm like, here we go, one of these people. I'm ready to give up on Xbox and buy Xbox games on PlayStation instead at this point. They pushed me away hard the last generation and a half. People complained about Don Matrick, but he's got nothing on what Phil Spencer has done for the brand. I just want to play good first party games. Why is that so hard for Xbox to do? I don't understand that comment. Um, like any,
Let's see. Here's the difference between Phil Spencer and Don Matrick. Don Matrick, Don Matrick's actions
yeah,
followed by his actions followed by some of the management. His actions
it was,
followed by
yeah,
his bosses.
yeah,
Right when Phil Spencer took over, they okay. Don Matrick caused damage.
oh
Like
yeah, with
to
the whole TV thing.
okay. Put it like this. Put it like this. Don Matrick caused damage to the point where Xbox were dealt a fatal blow. And
Yeah,
then once Phil Spencer took over and his bosses didn't have no faith in him or the brand,
mm,
that brand was on life support a few breaths away from dying.
It was. If anything, it
right?
was because of Phil that whatever he said that particular
I'm
day,
getting
the
there. I'm
subs
getting
out.
there.
Yeah.
So those it was two breaths away from dying. It was literally on last support. Now versus Phil Spencer. Don Master versus Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer and his team were able to make the Xbox brand a
Mm.
multi-billion dollar brand.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
shit took years to do.
Oh
Don
yeah.
Mattress never
Yeah.
did that. Don Mattress caused the brand to lose millions when that E3 was wrapping up, when Xbox E3 was wrapped up to be completed. It was completed, boom. Their
Mm.
sales plummet their pre-sales plummet before the shit was even out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they lost monies per that E3 versus Phil Spencer and his team turning it into $1 billion brand. I don't want to hear that bullshit. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Exactly. I agree. I agree. Like, and the thing is with this, and I did see it a lot yesterday. Everybody was blaming Phil, and I'm sitting there going, I
Now,
don't.
don't get
Once
me wrong. Now
again, I don't.
everything is perfect with Xbox, but it is what.
No,
But
but I don't think this is a Phil
it's a difference
decision. Yeah.
from the Xbox One to now.
Um, just like when Phil was seeming to be the scapegoat again and getting all the blame for, oh, now they're looking to take a lot of, I won't say all, but a lot of their first party games, excuse me, to PlayStation and Nintendo.
Mhm.
And I'm like, that's probably not a decision that's come from Phil. And the thing is, he may be the boss of the Xbox brand, but he's got
Mhm.
bosses he needs to answer to, right?
Of
Satya being
course,
one of them. And
it's
not just that,
Satya, what's her name, and their bosses, aka
yep,
the investors.
the
There you go.
investors, right? And so uh, the way I look at it like this is Phil could have sat in there for like all these games, right? And that they're like, oh, we want to take this across, and we're thinking about taking. I'm just using it as an example, hypothetical
Mhm.
example. Oh, we're going to take Gears across, rah, 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 rah. And Phil could sit in there until he's blue in the face, going, no, 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 I don't think this is a good thing. But if they say yay and when they can overrule him, there's nothing he can do. His hands are essentially freaking tied.
All right.
Uh, and also calculating, they just spent, I'll round it out, $70 billion. I'm sure their investors want to see their investment back today, not years later, as quick as possible is what I'm getting at, right? And they know that this also plays into, I
What's up,
think.
back from the dead? What up?
Hey, what's good, back? What's good, brother? Haven't seen you in a minute, man. Good to see you. Uh, they've had to, like you said,
Excuse me.
dig themselves out of a hole that Don Matrick put them. Because before Don Matrick, Peter Moore had them riding freaking
Peter
high.
Moore had them sitting beautiful.
Yes, I don't care what anyone says. I know it because I put it this way: Xbox won that 360 generation. It took Sony to that
Oh,
last
of
little
course.
bit
Of
to
course. Of
finally
course.
outsell them.
Peter
But
Moore was at the helm. Peter Moore was chopping everybody heads, yo. You want to come and get Xbox? We're gonna make you
for
pay
not,
for it.
not
And
I
they
would
paid
say,
for it too.
yeah, for 90% of that generation, Xbox was the shit.
Dominated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dominant. It was only that last little leg of the run did Sony finally come over the top, but it
Of
took them
course. Of course.
ages. Um, and they might not have got there unless they changed a few things too when it came to the
Of
PS3,
course.
because
They
you know.
literally caught up. They literally caught up at the end of the generation.
So
And you know what's funny about that, Spooky?
yeah,
They caught up at the end of the generation, right? Bravo. That's fucking amazing. That was a great comeback with Sony. That was
oh, it
fucking
was, yeah,
badass.
yeah,
But what I remember what a lot of people were saying, they said, "Oh, whenever you release a console, right,
mm,
or releasing against who or whatever, Spooky, did they not say that the first company to reach 10 million wins?
yes, and Xbox did it
Xbox
first.
360 did, right? But
Yeah,
then they said, oh, but PlayStation caught up at the end, so PlayStation won. No,
no,
360
because
reached to 10 million first. Man,
Dom,
just give them their flowers, dog.
yeah, not dominating for 90% of the generation. I'm sorry, you can't beat that. That ten
Exactly.
percent, that 10% domination at the end is nothing. Like, okay, cool. Like you said, Great comeback
You
story.
like you caught up, you fucking amazing. But
Yeah.
360 had that one hands
they
down.
they themselves that's what their fans are going to realize. They themselves admitted how terrible that PS3 generation was. Sony came out and said, "Oh, we were almost dead. We were almost gone." Um,
I didn't
and they
even know
were.
that. I didn't the part that they were almost gone. I did not know that.
They were, man.
I did
Because
not know that. That's new information. Like I found that out like a year ago. I was like, wait, what?
yeah,
I thought they
because
was lying.
so
I did not
many
know that.
no, so many devs, even their own freaking devs, had so
Hmm?
much trouble with that cell processor. uh, it was causing havoc to develop for, and that's why that
Wow,
is
I did not know that.
easily the worst generation for PlayStation. Yes, they bounced back in a huge way with the PS4 generation, clearly, um,
Mhm.
and Xbox just went off a bloody cliff, unfortunately. If Peter Moore had still been running the show,
He said a bloody cliff.
yeah. If Peter Moore had still been running the show, and then it was across that, okay, his time has come to an end, and then he just gave it to Phil, it could be a completely different story where we're sitting right now if that had been the transition instead of having Don Matrick in the middle of that transition. Um,
Mhm.
that's why they need to make a show. You know how Disney that does that What If show? They need to do one on fucking X. What if?
Oh, the Marvel, yeah.
What if Peter Moore just went over to Phil Spencer and there was no Don Matrick, right? So
Right, right, right.
that yeah, if it wasn't for Phil, and like I said, whatever the heck he said that day, he was in a room with Satya and others and convinced them, hey, I know you haven't got a lot of trust in this brand right now. I know you want to kill it, you want to end it. It's done no good. Give it to me and let me try and do something with it. Let me try and revive this. Whatever he said worked. And the thing is I can't stand when I also hear it like exclusives aren't don't mean what they used to mean, in my opinion.
Sure enough, don't.
They
Sure
don't.
enough, don't. It's
And going forward,
there's still a thing, but
yeah, but
it's
I
it's
think
it it's losing its steam.
yeah, in the future, games are just going to be everywhere, which
Of course, of course.
plays right into what Phil Spencer's um, analogy and his thoughts on it all are. He hates exclusives.
Spooky. You know what they said to Sean Layden?
What's that?
Sean Layden said, I think about 2 weeks ago, he said, "Yo, we just need one console to rule them all,
Yeah,
and then all this console war shit
goes away.
can go out
Yeah.
the window." Yo, they shitted on him for saying that, and I was thinking, I'm like, no, he's right because
Yes.
years and years from now, that's where it's headed.
Yes. And you're already essentially. I know it's not a
It's not gonna be
console.
one console. It's just gonna be one platform.
Yeah.
In every game from Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation, etc., it's gonna be on that one platform.
Well,
Essentially, he was right.
put
He
it
is
at
fucking
about
right.
80% right now with how he's right. Right. So no, we know it's not a
Yeah,
console,
he is
but
right. He's fucking right.
a PC for 80%, I would say, of gaming. Obviously, there's a few games that don't come to PC, but it's very few and far between. So I'll go with about 80%.
It's a small number of games that
Yeah.
don't come to PC,
Yeah. I'd say only
but
about
but it's a huge, big
20%. Yeah.
ass window of games that don't come to console too.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. And so 80%, I would say that's what Layden was. A PC, you get everything. You get everything in the
Literally.
one spot.
Hmm.
And see, that's part of the reason why I made the move back there is because um I was sick of having all fucking wires fucking everywhere with all the fucking consoles. And so
Hmm.
I was like, you know what? It is a one stop shop. That is the beauty of PC. Obviously, there's plenty of other benefits, but um, it's the fact that it is an open platform. That's what Gabe Newell likes to say with Steam. It's an open platform. You get everything all in the one spot. As a gamer, that's beautiful to have everything in the one fucking spot. I know there's,
Very
I
beautiful.
know plenty of gamers, you yourself included, that would love that. Instead of having to switch between 4 or 5 different devices, you just turn on one fucking device and have everything you want in the one place. Man, like that's all you want. So um, I see a future what Phil sees and what obviously Sean Layden sees, where because you're already starting to see it. exclusives don't sell consoles anymore. They don't, and it's Sony that actually admitted that. Sony this generation turned around and said it's not our exclusives that's pushed that PS5. It's the name recognition and the install base that they've already built. That's what's really pushed it. And then what also plays into that the exclusives don't sell, when you go and look at the top selling and top played games just on PlayStation, for example, in the top five, there's no PlayStation exclusives in the top five. It's Call of Duty, it's the FIFAs, it's the NBAs, it's the Maddens, and all those games, right? So they're not what they were, say, back in this, the OG days of the Nintendo and the Sega, or the original
Mhm.
PlayStation and PlayStation 2 and OG Xbox, where they meant something, and they really did help push the consoles and move the consoles. Oh, this game's only on this platform. Okay, so I need to get that platform to play that game.
Right.
You don't have that essentially anymore now, especially because these companies, excluding Nintendo, and if shout out to Hip Hop Gamer, if he's got the correct information,
Hip hop gamer, my man.
come 2026, Nintendo's joining the PC party. Uh, with their games going to PC, and I've said this statement the whole time, and it's funny because you'll get the console warring gremlins that'll come back at you, but
Yeah.
Microsoft and Sony are already essentially third-party developers and publishers because their games come to PC, which is another
Right.
platform outside of their thing, and Nintendo will join that, right, as well, and it's just another avenue, just like mobile is, for them to make money, right? More money, and they it brings me back to the point. They all understand, regardless that Nintendo's going to be last come to the party, but they realize it too, that the console
Facts.
market is not going to grow anymore, and so they can only make so much money from the console market. So they need
Mhm.
other areas and other avenues to make more money because they're a business, so they're in the business of making as much money as they can. Going PC and mobile opens up to two new install bases where
Mhm.
you're going to get even more profit. So you're essentially tripling your profits because you've got the console market, the PC market, and the mobile market. Got three
Right.
markets to work with. So so I agree with Phil's philosophy in that sense that games should be everywhere and be for everyone. Um, and I think they need to be everywhere. And that's what I think a lot of these other gamers, even though it's a minority, but there's very, very vocal, very loud, need to come to that realization that exclusives are just like consoles are slowly a dying breed. The exclusives are a dying,
They
and
are.
I've said for the longest time, like, we already know we're getting another Xbox, we're getting another PlayStation 6, we've got a Switch 2 on the way. But if out of the three of them, the Switch, sorry, Nintendo has got the more longevity, right? Because
Of
they're in a
course.
handheld market, and the handheld market's only just starting to boom again. It had its
Right.
boom back in the day with your Game Boys and everything like that. Then it kind of died
Such
off
a
for a bit.
classic moment. What a moment.
Um,
What a moment.
and now it's really, really booming. Hence why I think it's smart, if the rumors are true, that Microsoft's going to make their own because it's really booming. And see why there's longevity there. You can take that
I don't
handheld.
believe that's a rumor. I believe that's a cold hard fact.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm
And I
starting
can't
to as
and I
well
can't
now.
wait till I get an Xbox handheld. I wanted that shit yesterday.
But why there's longevity there and why they will be a very big part of the future.
Mm,
I can see even 10 years down the line, and when consoles may not even be a thing anymore, then um,
mhm.
you can take a handheld anywhere you want. You can't do that with a home console. You know what I
Right.
mean? You can't sit on a beach with a home console, but you can sit on the beach with your handheld.
You're right about that.
If you're in the middle of the ocean, you can have in a boat. You can have your freaking handheld. Whether it be the Steam Deck, whether it be the ROG Ally, whether it be the Switch 2 when it comes out, right?
Make sure you are on one of those boats that you can go inside. You don't want to just be in the boat where it's just Oh shit! One huge
Wave of
wave bump
rocking,
to that
man.
shit. That shit's
Yeah.
going flying in the ocean.
Yeah, there goes me fucking sweat. No, yeah,
Exactly.
it's lost to the
Exactly.
ocean.
Fuck that.
But so there's going to be longevity there, and so we know that there's another round of console. Maybe you get another round after that, so a PlayStation 7 and whatever they call the other Xbox by that point. And then I think it'll
Mhm.
be done because that's then taken you 15, 20 years in the future where the internet, for the most part, should be where it needs to be for cloud to really go, you know.
Right. Right.
Uh, and
You are right, Spooky. But these our government got to get on track with this whole internet shit because
yes, yes.
until that shit is spearheaded in the right direction, streaming will not be a thing. Okay, streaming is a thing, but it won't be as powerful as it is in like in China where their shit is like top notch.
Yeah, I can see
So
that. Yeah.
until the government get with all these other ISPs and get rid of throttling and data caps, streaming will never reach its full potential in America.
No, and that's true. That's true. It needs to be like everywhere. It needs to have unlimited. That's what it needs to be. Unlimited.
Right.
And it. I think eventually it'll get there. Eventually, I think it'll get there, and everybody be laughing. But that's the future, and people just got to get used to that. So it is what it is. I still see people today complaining about this price increase, but look, it you just got to treat it like everything else. Everything's gone up in price. So, um,
Right.
you know, I do get people's gripes from certain points of view. Um, I do get the whole. Probably the biggest gripe I do understand, and no, I'm not a console gamer anymore, but I can sympathize with console gamers is how they do feel like a little bit of a second class or third class in it. I understand that, but I knew that was coming the minute they got ABK. As I said, I knew, like I
Right.
said to you before the show, mobile was going to be boom. That was going to be at the top. PC was going to be next. Console was going to be after that. And then, of course, I think these old heads need to realize, and it's the information's out there, the statistics are out there. Why you may feel the way you feel, Microsoft understands that market. It's not growing anymore. It is what it is. That's all they got to
Right.
work with, and they got to make money. They got to make their money back, and to make their money back, they've got to go other avenues and put their hand in other pots, and
Hmm.
it's what they've got to do. It's either that's what I should needs to be said or drilled into some of these people's heads. It's either that or you can have Microsoft just stick with console, and then we could be on the verge of where it nearly was before Phil, said what he said to save it, and they could go right. F the Xbox, we're done. We're not making money
Right.
off it. We're done. Um,
Right.
so now it's all about the games, it's all about Game Pass, and it's all about the cloud. Even though cloud I'd put at the third at the moment because they got to wait for the catch up. But that's the three
Right.
things they push. That's why they don't care. And besides that, giving you access everywhere. So yeah, they don't care. And like I said, that's the only thing I have this. It's not a big gripe, but a small gripe. Because I do look at it from the business standpoint. I've always said, and there's two sides to this. You make it because obviously it's just another thing, avenue for people to access the games on. But if you look at it from a business standpoint, just from how they haven't marketed, I've always said, well, what the hell was the point in building this fantastic freaking Series X? But you've said from the whole get go, oh, you don't have to buy it, you don't need it. I'm like, I couldn't
That makes
understand
sense,
that trend.
bro.
Yeah, as I said, I understand, and I've talked to a lot of people. Oh, they've made it because it's just another avenue, another avenue for people to access their games,
That makes sense, Spooky.
as
And I
well.
feel like so
But at the same
the
time, it's just
whole
like, wow, you could have just brought out a
no,
Series S. Not
no,
worried
check
about.
it out, check it out, check it out. I hear you, but I look at it like this. The Series X is Series X, right?
Mm,
That's for people like me, the hardcore
the
console guy. I
cream,
have a PC as
yeah,
well, but
yeah.
like not not that premium shit. Like it comes with it, but the Series X and X is for the people who are still console heads,
Yes. Yep.
who are always gonna be tied to a controller, who
Yeah.
always want that box up under the TV, right?
Yeah.
Now with the whole, oh, you don't need an Xbox, or no Xbox, no problem.
Yeah.
When they say no Xbox, no problem, it's not. They're not talking to the hardcore gamers.
No, they're talking to the
They're talking
vast
to the
majority.
ones who,
Yeah.
sorry, excuse me, they're talking to the vast majority. They're talking to the ones who are basically like, for example, let's say one of them. Oh, a guy who goes to the office, he works and works and works. Don't have time for video games. Works. Don't have time to go buy a
Yep.
console.
Yep.
He could be browsing the internet one day. He's like, hey, no video game console, no problem. He's like, wait, what's this?
Yeah.
He finds out, Microsoft's Xbox. Oh, well, I don't have an Xbox. No problem. Now they say,
You
okay,
need to get
if you
this
have an
game.
LG, if you have an LG TV, boom, you have an Xbox. You need a
Yep.
controller. Oh, if you don't have a TV, maybe you have a TV, but you don't have the means to that. Oh, just get a Fire Stick, etc. Oh, if you only have your phone, boom,
Yeah.
Xbox Game Pass on your phone, etc. So like they're talking to the ones who are not really the ones who are not really engaged in gaming but are thinking about getting into it. And they also talking to the ones who can't afford the five, 400, $500 piece of console
Mm. Mm.
where
Exactly.
you got these other alternatives where you can get right into it where you're going to pay like only got to pay 17, 18, 19, $20 a month to play all these games. Sign me up, So that's what I
Exactly.
look at it like about that.
Exactly. You know, they're looking at the broader scope, not just one lot of gamer. So, and
Right.
that's
So
what
they're
they
looking at
need
the
to.
broader scope. And
Yeah.
when people say, "Oh, Xbox, this they're not charting with their consoles," then people say, "Oh, every time you turn around, you see, oh, you don't have to buy an Xbox." Yes, but they're not talking to us, the console people. We already have that box.
Yeah, exactly. You already
We
got it.
already
Yeah,
have
yeah,
that
yeah,
box
yeah.
because
They're
like they
talking to a
said,
new customer, you know.
right? Because it's like they said, gaming isn't growing, and that's on all avenues from Xbox to PlayStation to Switch. You know why? Because all those sales what they
Hang
got,
on a
they
second.
already had. Yeah, those, so all the sales that they
Hang on
got
two
from
seconds.
Xbox,
Yeah.
yeah, all those sales they got from Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, it's from us, the hardcore gamers, the one who we need a box up on our TV in the living room, etc., etc. We're always gonna be there. So by them using the oh no Xbox, no console, no problem. They're reaching out to the new people who are thinking about getting into the space or who don't have enough money to get into the space.
But
So
yeah,
that's what
exactly. So
but yeah, but so that's what I see what they're doing. And yes, for the people out there, yes, oh, you can't sell Xbox, but when they say, oh, no Xbox, no problem, we're hardcore. We're the game. We're already locked in. We're good. We're not going nowhere. We're
no.
always gonna we're always gonna get that new box, a new toy when it comes out.
Yep.
But they're branching out to the ones who are not interested but thinking about it, and the ones who are thinking about it don't have the money. It
Yeah.
works out perfect both ways. So the
Yeah.
hardcore gamers, we're locked in forever. These
Exactly.
now they're branching out to the new ones who, you know,
Yep.
and that's what I got to say about that.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right. So moving along, I know this
That
one's
was a great
gonna.
discussion, Spooky Man.
It
That was
was.
fucking dope.
It was, bro. And I know this one's
Badass.
gonna tickle your fancy, I think, with this one. So, Sonic
Which
Team
one is that
Boss.
one?
So this is about the Sonic game. So Sonic Team Boss would like to make Sonic RPG one day. He said, and I quote, he goes, "How have we gotten to 30 years with no RPGs in the Sonic verse?" So, um, and mind you, they did have one back in the day because the only RPG in Sega's flagship franchise is 2008 Sonic Chronicles, The Dark Brotherhood for Nintendo
Hmm.
DS. But it was developed externally by Mass Effect
Dark
Studio.
Brotherhood.
Yeah, 2008 Sonic Chronicles, The Dark Brotherhood, made by Mass
Developed
Effect.
by who?
BioWare.
What? What?
Yeah, yeah.
Bro, hold on. I gotta find my 3DS because now I gotta find this fucking game.
Now I'm gonna find this game. So
Hold
during
on. I'll be right back. Hold on.
You're right, you're right. So during a recent interview with Good Vibes Gaming, good vibration. Lazuka was asked if Sega might one day have another crack at Sonic RPG. So he says, and I quote, "Personally, I like role-playing games. The RPG game format is a lot
So
of
it's called
fun."
Dark Brotherhood. This is new information.
Yes, Sonic
I didn't,
Chronicles the Dark Brotherhood, it's called.
I did not know this. Hold on. Okay, yeah, continue. I'm listening.
No, you're good, bro. You're good. So the RPG game format, he said, is a lot of fun, and I've even thought to myself, for the past 30 years, we haven't done a Sonic RPG, and I'm questioning myself, why haven't we done a Sonic RPG in all this time? How have we gotten to 30 years with no RPGs? Mario's got RPGs. Why haven't we? So I'd like to hopefully work on a Sonic
Mario
RPG.
RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
classic.
So yeah, he says I'd like to hopefully work on a Sonic RPG at some point before I retire from Sega. But that's just a dream right
Ooh.
now. There are no concrete plans at this point. Uh, and so this is interesting though, because if he ends up getting the opportunity to make it, I would love to see what they come up with for an RPG
Hmm.
of Sonic. And I think there needs to be one. Obviously, like they said, there was one on the on 2008 for the Nintendo DS, but they're also doing a modern update of 2011 Sonic Generations, and that game will also include a brand new
That's the
story
one that's gonna
mode.
be Shadow, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Love it. I fucking love it. I want that.
So interesting. Like as I said, I'd be curious
Before you
as
continue
to
on Spooky,
yeah.
um, can we get another fucking Shadow game, bro?
Yes,
Shadow is
yes.
long overdue for another game, bro. We need another Shadow game.
Yeah,
Please. Shadow
yeah.
the Hedgehog. We need another Shadow game. Let's go.
But yeah, I mean, it'd be really really cool to see a Sonic RPG, and see what ideas that they can throw into it.
Hmm.
Obviously they would probably do it in the same vein and in the same style. I would imagine as Mario RPG. Uh,
Right.
But yeah, it'd be really cool to see, man. What would you like to see yourself if he gets the opportunity to make an RPG of Sonic?
Make an RPG of Sonic. Include Shadow.
Just include Shadow.
Just include Shadow. From the way he's speaking, it sounds like a whole lot of passion. So as
Yeah,
long as that passion is there, I'm
yeah,
pretty sure we'll get a classic RPG Sonic game. But please just include Shadow in a big way.
yeah. For me, as long as they got Shadow and as long as they got Knuckles, I'm good.
Yes, and Knuckles too.
Yeah,
I dare me. Shadows
yeah,
and Knuckles. As long as I
yeah.
got those two, we're good. But please put Shadow in the game
Yes,
and give
yes.
me another Shadow game.
I mean, you know what? They could check out Mario's RPG and sort of get some ideas of sort of how to go about it anyway.
All right.
And then if they get just a larger, I guess, story to sort of what they did with Sonic Generations,
Mhm.
and flesh it out, and then with RPG, have you change characters? So for a while you're Sonic, the next minute you're Shadow, next minute you're Knuckles. Get all those elements and put them all together, and I don't know, make it a 30, 40 hour RPG, something like that. Uh,
Ooh,
that
okay.
would be pretty cool. And then the other thing you got to look at is, do you keep that RPG linear or do you go for a more open world feel like the last Sonic game that came out?
Right. Right.
So there's a lot of different ways they could do this. I know a lot of people that enjoyed the Sonic Chronicles Dark Brotherhood have said for years they just love a bigger version of that, essentially. So hopefully, before, like he said, he retires, it might be the last Sonic game that he works on before he hangs it up.
Right.
That would be cool because, like he said, it's the one thing
That'd
kind
be
of
fucking amazing.
missing from his legacy. The one sort of area left to do that he's done everything else, I guess you could say. And so going out with an RPG, I think, would be a real great send off and long lasting legacy. So yeah, some real cool information there, man. You know, a lot of people love Sonic. They love
Make it
Mario. And
happen.
make it
Make it
happen.
happen. I want to see it. I want to see it.
Hell
Please.
yeah. All right, now I just got to work out how I freaking do this. So now, let me see if I can get this up on the screen. Hang on a second. All right, so we need. Let me go. This is the shoe, bro. So I've got to get this up on the screen so people can actually see. Ah, there we go. Straight away. Look at that. Easy done. Oh, that's a bit
Easy
large.
peasy.
That's a bit large. Hang on a second. Yeah. All right. Get it in there a bit more. Okay. There we go. All right. So, Bandai Namco and Nike are teaming up for Tekken sneakers. All right. As you can
Never
see,
saw that coming.
you can see this on the screen as I'm scrolling down.
I see it. I see it.
Yeah, look at this. It's like his jacket, right?
Yeah, that's fire.
Insane, bro. I love the box too. So,
Is that like a snakeskin jacket?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it, right?
So, as reported by Soul Retriever, 2 pairs of Tekken 8 Nike Air Foamposite One Fist sneakers will be released in September 2024 through Nike, SNKRS, and select retailers. The sneakers are a part of Tekken's 30th anniversary celebrations, as well as the latest game, and feature 2 designs based on Kazuya and Jin. The Tekken Nike Air Force Foamposites will come in men's sizes, priced at $250 US. Tekken 8, of course, we know launched in January to critical and commercial success. Some fans have since expressed disappointment at the gradual increase in monetization. So this was followed by news in April that a Tekken Fight Pass was going to be added, which would add a live service element with free and premium tiers, much like a Battle Pass in other games. Here's more of the shoes too, as we get. I'll scroll down slowly here. So you're getting a better look here at the actual soles, the inside, the back. This looks really good.
Yeah, those are nice.
Oh man, they look good. And then you got the red ones here. That'll be for Jin. So they look.
Ooh, the Jen. Let's go.
Yeah, they look really.
That box is fucking fire too now.
Yeah, look at the box, man. Yeah, don't just go ripping the box open. You know,
No.
keep
See,
the
that's
box
the
good.
type of box where when you open it, you save that box. That box can be worth a lot of money.
Yes. Yeah. Heck,
Holy shit, that
you
box is
probably
fucking fire.
you probably barely would want to wear the shoes, man. You want to keep them as a collector thing, man, because they'd be fucking worth a lot of money. I would imagine in the future too.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I say that, and there's probably someone out there going, "Why are you going to buy a pair of shoes and not wear the?"
So a lot of people who buy a pair of shoes
yeah.
and don't wear them.
No, exactly. I know, but you hear it all the time. Like, why
Bro,
not
it's
you?
some people. It's some people who buy a pair of shoes, wear them once, and don't wear them ever again. They
Yeah.
wear them that one time, and once they're done with them, they'll take them all, clean the bottom of it, clean a little outside, whatever smudges. They make it look brand new again, and make the bottom look brand new, and they'll put it in a box and never wear them again.
Well, there you go. There you go, man.
Because
I've got a couple of pairs myself.
once they know they're not gonna wear them again, bro, they're gonna put it up for sale years later, and it's gonna be worth a lot of fucking money.
But oh man, even both of them, they look really, really neat.
Yeah,
Design
it's fucking amazing.
And I love the whole fist on the bottom of the side where it's got fists, like punching. So no, they look fire. I think they will sell like no tomorrow. I don't know how many they're gonna initially put out, but I think they're gonna have to definitely bump up the production of them because there's a lot of people that are gonna enjoy them. Even non Tekken fans, just because of the design and the look of them. I could probably look at them and go, you know what, I'm gonna have them in my sneaker collection
Right, right, right.
because they are fire, especially the snakeskin print. Um, and then even
Yeah,
with
that shit is fucking
skins,
crazy, dude.
yeah, just absolutely immaculate design. But that's what I mean. Like if I'm to get them, yeah, they'd stay in the box, bro.
Right,
I'll just keep them in the
right, right,
box.
right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I couldn't not, you know. Maybe I'd wear them once to somewhere like nice or something like that, but yeah, that'd be about it.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. It'll be one and done, literally.
yeah, but that was cool to see, man. I'm like, that's neat that they're teaming up to do that, and with a popular franchise at that as well, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know if you'd seen some of my sneakers, bro, but I've got a couple of really nice Nike ones as well. I got this cool one that when you move, it changes the graphic up on the heel and stuff. Oh, not the heel, the ankle
Oh, that's
part.
sick.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Hang on a second. I'll see if I can find. Hang on a sec.
Hell yeah, let's go.
So this, mind you, this is not all of them. This is just three. This is just three pairs of them, right? So I've got these
Mhm.
ones here, the Nike Jordans. You can see them on the screen.
Nice.
I got the purple there.
Yeah, those are nice, bro. Those are fucking fire.
That's purple one. Then I've got these white ones with the purple laces as well.
Bro, you a better man than me. I cannot do white shoes for the life of me.
Ah, man, I only like those because I like the design on them, and I'm the same as you. I don't usually like one. Now this is the one I was talking about. This
Okay.
is this sneaker,
Nah, those are nice.
and then
Those are fire.
yeah, see up here,
Those are heat. Yeah,
that's when you move. Hang on, does better on that side actually. It
I see
changes.
it. I see it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
see it.
it
Those are
changes.
heat. Those
Yeah,
are fucking heat, bro.
they're nice,
Those are
man.
fucking badass.
They're actually the white ones and those ones were when Kyrie was with Nike still when he was making shoes, and I was like, you know what, this this mofo has some really cool designs, like, and I love the color of those, like the blue and the pink, and then the even the soul man, like it's just really colorful. I thought that's actually
Right, right,
pretty
right.
fucking neat.
Yeah, those are fucking fire, bro. Seriously.
So yeah, they were pretty good. As I said, that's only three out of my collection. But I've worn the Jordans not a lot, but I've worn them more than the other two pairs because the other two pairs are just like I think I've worn those blue ones like twice, maybe three times, and they're like to
Got you.
really good events. Like it's funny because I wore them once and I was wearing like a whole the black ensemble freaking suit and everything. And
Mhm.
instead of having the black leather shoes, I had those on with dress pants, and everyone's like, "Huh?
But it's like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Why aren't you wearing like sort of like
I'm,
business
I'd be a
shoes?"
line. I'd be like, mind your business, laddie.
Yeah, I was like, "Hey, look, the basketballers do it. They wear nice suits too, and then still wear their basketball shoes."
You know, my little brother went to the prom years ago. He had a fly ass suit on, all white, but he ain't wear no dress shoes. He wore some all white Air Forces. Fucking
Oh, nice.
badass. Dad ass.
And see, that wouldn't look. See, that's probably where white sneakers like that would look good when you're wearing like a whole black sort of outfit, and then you got the white shoes at the bottom.
Right, right,
You know,
right. Yeah.
yeah, it kind of just fits really well, and you kind of break the color up a little bit then as well, instead of just wearing completely. Otherwise, if he had like black shoes, everyone would be like, "You going to a funeral?"
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
But Star Wars Outlaws, bit of news coming from them. It wants to be your dream open galaxy. So a little bit here to unpack. So, how Massive Entertainment built the first open world Star Wars game and what you'll be actually doing in it. So, Julian Garridy, creative director of Massive Entertainment, is up for a challenge. For the first time ever, we're getting a fully open world, single player Star Wars video game. It's been a long time coming, but after back to back successes with both The Division and Division 2, Garrity was in the mood to take a risk. He said, I think this is maybe just my approach, but even if it's scary, you've got to do it. You've got to lean into it. What's the downside to pitching a Star Wars game in San Francisco at Lucasfilm Games in George Lucas's old office? It doesn't work, but you still have that experience. So fast forward several years after that meeting, and Massive Entertainment is less than 2 months away from releasing Star Wars Outlaws, fully realised version of the original pitch described in that office. An open world of dual ambitions, maintain the cinematic legacy of the films, and create immersive scoundrel gameplay that grants you the freedom of the galaxy. He said, I think it's taken this long to get an open world Star Wars game because of how, excuse the pun, massive it is to build a game like this. There are only so many studios in the world who build games of this scale, said Stephen Blank, director of franchise content and strategy at Lucasfilm. Said the door is then open for Massive to come to us and say, this is what we're interested in doing. This is the type of game design and gameplay we want. This is what we're thinking about in the terms of archetype. It's the outlaw player fantasy and it's open world. There were the two main pillars that we pitched. Why open world? Because the outlaw fantasy really needs that to live and breathe. The combination of our DNA as a studio, our background, when we think, okay, what do we have a lot of experience doing? What do we think we're going to be good at? And this fantasy, this scoundrel in Star Wars begs for freedom, adds game director Matthias Carlson. The Massive was fully confident in its abilities to create engaging open worlds. The Division offered a bullet-filled action playground, while last year's Avatar Frontiers of Pandora displayed an ability to work well within a Disney license by building a near unmatched visual paradise. But Star Wars was the new challenge that this team yearned for. Of course, locking down what kind of experience what would live inside a Star Wars open world was the first thing that had to be decided. They said, and I quote, we took a step back, of course, and thought, okay, Star Wars open world. Wow, what an opportunity. What does that naturally want to be? It wants to be the full scale, from the very small to the very big, meaning sitting inside a cantina, playing sabacc, being able to walk through the street, jump on your speeder, or drive across the planet's surface. Literally park your bike in your own ship, take off into space seamlessly, and explore that region. That vision of full scale helped secure a green light from Star Wars custodians. But getting Lucasfilm's blessing was just the key in the ignition. Translating the cinematic spectacle of the original Star Wars movie trilogy into an open world game set between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, two of the most iconic films of all time, was the actual challenge. One that Massive set out to address in every aspect of Star Wars Outlaws, from the way it looks and sounds to the type of action-adventure gameplay it supplies. For us, the sort of cinematic ambition that we had was in presentation. That he went straight to the source. What we did was take a lot of inspiration from the original trilogy, but with today's technology, so very similar to what Rogue One, the movie, did with its references to the production design of the original trilogy. Its aim was to replicate a lot of the filmic effects of these lenses in the 70s. So you'll see barrel distortion on the sides, vignetting, film grain, chromatic aberration, and of course all wrapped up in an ultra-wide presentation. You can expect that level of detail in Outlaws cutscene, but Garrity notes that making a game cinematic doesn't mean cinematics necessarily. What I care the most about is the interactive part. I think it's a key point for open world games at large. Scaling does not always need to be grand, but it needs to be conscious. The scale of Tatooine needs, should, and does in our game feel very different. It breathes, it's open sand dunes and long sight lines. It's easy to pick up any little anomaly on the horizon, and there might be an opportunity for you compared to the dense streets of Kijimi, which is a city in perpetual winter where people are trying to stay warm. So scale is something written into the very DNA of Star Wars, whether seen on the big or small screen. Greg Fraser, Rogue One's director of photography, recently told a bunch of outlets, if you watch any Star Wars film, that's what it's all about. It's knowing how big a human is going into this massive Millennium Falcon, how big the Millennium Falcon is going to this massive Death Star. It's scale
Right.
upon scale upon scale. It's a philosophy Garrity and the team at Massive took into Outlaws when crafting the introduction to its open world. Said one of our intentions for the beginning of the game was to make it feel very small and then get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So at the beginning of the
That's
game,
sick.
yeah, bro. This is sounding like they have put their blood, sweat, and tears and did their homework. So at the beginning of the game, you'll start off in one room, and it's claustrophobic, and it's meant to make you feel a little bit trapped. You open up, and it's city streets, but it's contained. And then you get into some narrative stuff, and you steal a ship, and you explode into the galaxy, and all of a sudden you crash land on this planet, which is a wide, open, vast world. The aim here is to create a sense of everything growing for you and not just the scale of the galaxy, but the scale of the possibilities for you as a character. Outlaw's
Hmm.
campaign tells the tale of Kay Vess, a young scoundrel looking to build a team from across the stars in order to pull off one of the biggest space heists and remove the death mark placed on her by the Zerekbesh crime syndicate. The basis of a story that evokes many other adventures from across both game and film. Um, he went on to say, I love Mass Effect 2. It's one of my favourite games. Started Naveed Kavari, Outlaw's narrative director. There were so many influences. I think you look at everything from Ocean's 11 and Ocean's 8 to Star Wars itself. Previous
Hmm.
films, and that heist feeling was always kind of in the fabric. He also name checks Kurosawa, the Japanese director whose samurai stories were so influential on George Lucas's original trilogy. Knowing what sort of story you want to tell is one thing. Telling an engaging story in an open world setting is another task altogether, and one that Kavari is well aware of, having written for Far Cry 4, 5, and 6, as well as The Division. One of the
Hmm.
things you always have to keep in mind, how are we going to weave a narrative and an open world together so that we're telling the story, but also giving you the freedom to go wherever you'd like. We had
Right.
a really clear approach on Outlaws. There was Kay's journey. There were key points that we knew we wanted her to hit, and then that makes her story part of the wider Star Wars narrative. Between those moments, we knew early on that if you got distracted by curiosity, the world had to react to that. It had to expect that the player's going to go off the beaten path. So the things
Hmm.
that lie off the beaten path are built in accordance to something Massive refers to as the 3 second rule, where within a few blinks of an eye you can instantly understand the nature of a location or character and the story behind them. Before you even put life in them, they need to visually tell a story about what kind of place it is, what's happened in the past, what type of life and events have taken place in them, so that they get a lot lived in feeling, Carlson explains. That lived in, relatable, substantial feel, I think, is a hallmark of any good open world, but also very Star Wars when you think about it. The Star
Right.
Wars aesthetic has always been rooted in the idea of the used future, where everything from the largest spaceships to the tiniest droids have that instantly recognizable layer of grime. Those small details build up into authentic, cool, and bespoke spaces, something Massive has always managed to build into their own open worlds. The Division and its sequel are packed full of memorable levels, ranging from New York landmarks to Washington, D.C. museums, and that philosophy is being transferred to Outlaw's many, many planets. Its main missions promise to take us to iconic locations such as Imperial bases and Jabba's palace. He said we can lean into the virtual tourism aspect of, hey, what is the distance between the moisture farms and Moss Eisley and the cantina, says Garrity.
Hmm.
There is a linear roller coaster story, a golden path, if you will. And around that, of course, there's an open world. So that's the dream I know I had as a kid, Kavari adds. That is what I've always wanted from a Star Wars game. That when I'm on a journey, when I'm entering into a quest, it might start on foot, it might start with me navigating a High Republic cruiser that's crashed, but I want to be able to jump into my speeder and blast off, take off into space, maybe land in a space station and meet some characters that factor into my quest or journey along the way. And so that sort of connective tissue of planet or moon to space was crucial to our whole approach because that's the kind of the fantasy that I think players are hoping for. That fantasy and freedom is evidently at the core of Outlaws, and while all 5 planets and moons, Tashara, Tatooine, Akiva, Kijimi, and Cantonica, won't be instantly available to hyperdrive between, Garrity claims it won't be long into Kay's journey until the galaxy fully opens up. There's a very structured intro that leads you to crash land on Tashara, which is a moon that we created with Lucasfilm Games. And once you finish the sort of linear narrative on Tashara, the other planets open up and it becomes completely non-linear, and you can choose to tackle those worlds in any order you want. Uh,
Right.
so exploration of these worlds is highly encouraged, with maps that are not, at least initially, flooded with icons and points of interest, because you're seeing these places from a fresh perspective. Kay hasn't seen the galaxy. She doesn't know everything. Carlson explains. The first time you come to Tashara, you'll have a map where you can see mountains over there and stuff, but discovery is what gives you more information. You're going to have
Mm.
to take some risks. You're going to have to go to a cantina, and you can eavesdrop and pick up on some conversations that will lead you to another location that reveals a location within the open world that you have to get on your speeder to go and find. And there will be a fog of war that will you'll be able to clear up, and that's really where your curiosity will open things up even more. Each of Outlaw's worlds vary in size. Tashara, Massive's newly created moon, is around the same size as the jungle planet of Akiva, but a little smaller than the vast desert of Tatooine. He said it was less about how big, but more about how long in terms of traversal with the speeder it would be. Tashara, 4 or 5 minutes non-stop, which doesn't sound like a lot, but once you're committed, it's a fairly large amount, and you are always going to be distracted. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which was one of the games that we were looking at while creating this, you have different zones on the map. Tashara is 2 of the 3 of these put together. And that doesn't even take into account the vast areas of space that surround each planet and serve as entirely different areas of orbital exploration and opportunity. So we'll cover that, as well as the starship side of the game, in greater depth later this month. Man, it's really shaping up. Um, it's really shaping up to be the game I think every Star Wars fan has wanted for a very, very long time. Um, it's, I mean, I think they've done their homework that well that this is going to be probably, could be arguably their best open world game that they've ever made. And what a way to do it with the Star Wars IP. It's pretty easy. I would like, obviously there was tough things in that, but like easy in the sense of how vast Star Wars is.
Mhm.
Uh, can make it easy to make an open game because of just how big and how much you could put in into it. Where they've been in all the movies and stuff like that. It's so many options and different looking planets, and damn, they're almost going to give Starfield, I think, a run for their money on the
Oh,
places that you could,
definitely.
on the places that you could visit and stuff like that. Uh, but man, how you feeling about this after they've gone a little bit more in depth here, and how much they've, how much learning they've done, and what they're actually doing with this?
Um, more Star Wars is better for me. I'm just happy. Excuse me. I'm just happy that they're not focusing on the Jedi and lightsabers here, lightsabers there.
Yeah.
I've always wanted more Star Wars to explore. Like I always wanted more Star Wars games to explore Star Wars and not just explore the Jedi. To
Yeah,
always
yeah.
explore the good guys. Like, I guess you could say she's like a bad bad person slash good person, or in between the gray area.
Mm,
I always wanted, excuse me, I always wanted more Star Wars games to focus on the other side. Like me personally, I want more villain games.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and the fact that it's they're giving it another crack at the open world aspect of it, I think that's amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
in a way because you could see a transition from ground to sky, and you could see it, this ship literally leaving the atmosphere,
Mm.
going in space, and et cetera, et cetera. So, and I think that's another good point because we have the last time we seen something like that was on No Man's Sky, where you could literally land on a planet
Yeah.
and you could literally fly off the planet from the planet to the sky and into space to the next planet to the next planet. It's like no transition. It's literally right there in your face. It's fucking amazing. I'm looking forward to it because, as I said before, it's Star Wars. But I'm looking forward to the fact as we have a female lead this time around, and she's a scoundrel and something similar to Han Solo.
Right.
So that's always great to see. And again, I always love a Star Wars game that is not focused on, like, let's be real, Spooky. We've got Jedi lightsaber shit
Mm-hmm.
to death, and
Yep.
that's why I always have good things to say about Star Wars: The Old Republic. That's on PC because Spooky. If you ever play that game, you could choose to be a Jedi. You could choose to be a Sith, or you could choose to be a Jedi transition to a Sith. You could choose a Sith transition to a Jedi, etc., etc. You could be a Mandalorian. You could be a scoundrel. You could be a trooper. Like, bro, it's the the possibilities are endless. So,
Yes.
but yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I can't wait to play it day one. Um, it looks fun,
It does, bro.
and hopefully, fingers crossed that this turns out to be another franchise for the Star Wars because they have their Battlefront franchise, they have their Star Wars Jedi franchise. Hopefully, this turns out to be another one because I plan on doing everything in this game. I can't wait. I'm super excited, and I'm glad that like I said again, we have a female lead. She's a person of color, and they actually got some backlash about that early on when they first revealed it,
Mm.
which is fucking stupid.
Yeah, I don't
It,
understand that, but yeah.
yeah, it's fucking stupid, bro. But it doesn't matter to me.
No, no, of course, man. It's like, what's wrong with a female? I mean, like, how many times have we got recently, like, just on that female lead, and people freaking make a complaint, like, for so long, right? I say this all the time. For so fucking long, and you agree with me on this because we've both been gaming for freaking what over 2 decades now.
Yep.
We've had a white male protagonist with nearly every freaking game. So not
90,
only,
90, I'll say between 95 and 98% of
mm,
video games.
yeah, right. And so not only has it been good to get uh, more variety in the sense of we've had some
Hmm.
Asian protagonists, we've had some black protagonists, um,
I
but
love it.
also getting female protagonists as
Protagonist.
well,
Yeah.
right? I think offers a lot more variety, and gives you a different sense of feel, and you're exploring different culture. Like, could you imagine? Like, you just wouldn't do it, but I mean, if they wanted to just stick with the whole white male protagonist, could you imagine, for example, doing a freaking Yakuza game with a white male protagonist? You'd be like, what? Like what? Like, come on now! If you do a Yakuza game, it's got to be Japanese. Well, you know what I mean. You can't do Ghost of Tsushima with that. It
It
needs to
wouldn't
be
bother me, but I had me scratching my head like, huh?
It's like all the comments
Yeah.
that I've seen made on the new Assassin's Creed, where it's set back in the day, Samurai Day, right? And you got the
Mhm.
black male protagonist that you're going to be able to play as at some point. And he's also going to help you. Everyone's going, "Why they got a black guy in there? Why?" Well, for starters, this is the first thing that comes out of my mouth on that complaint. Were
Right.
you back in those times? Can you sit there and definitively say that there was no black person or black people in Japan in those days? You can't unless you were in those times. You couldn't definitively say that. Um,
Hmm.
And there's nothing in, I suppose if you really go and look it up, there probably was, because there's nothing that says in history that someone of color can't be over in this, in the Eastern era kind of, area kind of thing. So, uh, and from what I've heard, this is based, or that part alone is based on history. So there must have been a black African, because that's where he's from, Africa, samurai.
Hmm.
I don't know to what sort of level of samurai, but some, you got your low tiers too, but samurai of some description back in the day in the history books. And so I was like, people really need to do their research before opening their mouth on things like that, because you just, as I said, it's just like I've seen a lot of people like, oh, there's no black people back in Japan. Well, how do you know there was no black people back in Japan in those times? You don't know.
Right.
You don't know. I mean, a lot of people for years and years and years thought England was completely white, but I'm telling you, there was a lot of blacks back in the day in England, even in the king and queen freaking days.
Yes,
Um,
indeed.
it's just what it is. Like, so I don't understand the complaints. It's like, well, if you're going to complain about it, if you like one of those, but they're simple. Just don't play the freaking game. Um,
It's simple as that.
I even seen like only a handful of people, but like I can't wait. I think it's next week. It comes out that Kunitsugami, right? Oh, why are we getting something more Asian? I'm sick of this Asian. I'm like, well, then don't play the game.
Don't play
Don't
the
pick it
game,
up.
big.
Yeah,
Don't play the game, bro.
you know.
Just move
Even
on.
even with Ghost of Tsushima,
Keep
I'm
your
like,
personal
no,
feelings to
man.
yourself.
I turned one guy. He goes, yeah, I hope they don't make a Ghost of Tsushima. I said, man, I do. I fucking love that time of Japan. It's very,
Right.
very, very rich in history, and I love history, and I've always been fascinated with the samurai times, um,
Hmm.
especially ever since I watched it was a fantastic freaking movie, The Last Samurai back in the day with Tom Cruise, and that man that
Last summer I was heat.
yeah, it like really entrenched me in those times. Sort of frugal Japan, right? And I mean that movie was done right, correctly.
Right.
And again, like, but you didn't see any complaints back then. Oh, why is this white guy being a fucking samurai? Isn't that just meant for? Well, no, because if you go through the history, and because as I said, samurai is like right up my alley. So I've learnt and read plenty of stuff on the history. They actually taught some of the Europeans that were there that they were fighting against, but had sort of mingled with them and started. I think some of them fell in love with some of the women there, and so they started to
Hmm.
mingle, and they actually changed sides. So yeah, the Europeans would have classified them as a traitor, but they got so ingrained of the peacefulness, but the samurai way as well. Um, that's what the lifestyle that they wanted to live then. And so I'm like, well, if you're not going to complain about shit from back then, why all of a sudden are we complaining about it now? You know what I mean?
Right.
And granted, like we know racism comes in many forms. A lot of these people say the things that they say because they are racist. And it's like, and it's not just racism against blacks; it's racism against Asians and all sorts. And so it's like, well, times have changed, and in these times now, it's better to zip your mouth on that kind of stuff. Keep quiet. You got nothing. What's the old saying? You got nothing good to say. Don't say anything at all. Nothing nice to say. And
Exactly.
you don't have to, especially with the games. Even if it's a movie, you don't have to watch that movie. You don't have to buy that or play that game. Just stick to a game or a movie that you want. If only you
Exactly.
want the Western type of world, then watch and play games of the Western type of world. If you want a bit of culture of all these different varieties, and I mean the same thing was said too with Forspoken. Like that poor woman copped a lot of criticism. It's like, so what? You know,
And it
I
was and it wasn't even her fault.
no, I love Banishers, bro. Right, and you've got the black female protagonist in that, and they were copping it. Then it's like, oh, they
Yo,
can't be
I
rich.
need to play that game because
It's
Dirk
good, bro.
wouldn't stop talking about that game for nothing.
No, it's good. It's. I haven't completely finished it yet, but it's well, it'll be well worth your time. Well
I'm
worth your
definitely gonna
time.
check it out.
Um, but man, yeah, I can't understand the hate. But people are going to continue to be like that, and clearly, if it is a racism thing for them, they're probably not. They're probably being raised like that, so it's very hard to change people that's so ingrained, and that's why I say
Mhm.
that. But they kind of do that shit to themselves. Like you don't even need to sit there. If that's not your thing, then don't comment on it. That's
All
plain
right.
and simple.
Simple as that. Simple
Yeah,
as that.
because you may not like that, or you may have an issue with, but there's plenty of other people who are like, hey, cool, Black Samurai there, let's go. Like something
All
different,
right.
So yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully that gets completely overlooked and the game gets its time to shine. So, um, moving right along though to some interesting points. So we got Nicolas Cage's Spider-Man Noir series. It's cast.
Nice.
Got a few casts updates now. Um, so Robbie Robertson and Brendan Gleeson have joined the fray. Brendan Gleeson will be playing the villain in this series. So yeah, it's cast New Girl and Fargo actor Lamorne Morris. I love Lamorne Morris, man. He is such a freaking funny actor, man, and good actor at that too. Um, he has been in video games before too. He was in the last, not the last NBA 2K. It might have been either the one before that or the one before that. He was the barber in the story mode part of it. He was the
Mm-hmm.
barber, and I'm like, hey, that's Lamar. So he's going to be joining the game. Lamorne will play Robbie Robertson, a face that might be familiar to longtime Spider-Man fans. In addition to bringing in more talent to its roster, the Amazon MGM Studios and Sony Pictures television series is now reportedly titled Spider Noir. Its previous title was just Noir, so it looks like Sony and Amazon are looking to make its ties to the Spider-Man universe a bit clearer. Now, Morris is best known for the Fargo series and New Girl, but he's made appearances across movies and TV for more than a decade. He played a role in 2018's Game Night and 2020's Bloodshot 2, but viewers might have
Mm-hmm.
also heard him in animated projects like American Dad, The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder, and Solar Opposites. As for his role in Spider Noir, Variety was able to share a description of Robbie Robertson's character. The character is described as driven, hard-working, and won't take no for an answer. A dedicated journalist trying to make it with the odds stacked against him as a black professional in 1930s New York. He takes on riskier stories that no one else would touch in order to catch attention and a paycheck. He is willing to do whatever is necessary for his career. As for Gleason's role, now not much is known save the fact that he will reportedly play the big villain. He's perhaps
Mm-hmm.
best known to American fans for his role as Alistair Mad Eye Moody in several of the Harry Potter movies.
Ah, that's my
Yes,
guy.
yes, yeah,
Great actor. Great
yeah.
actor.
Oh, he is. He is. He's a fantastic actor. So, and I've seen him play a villain before, so he will do a really good job at that. So,
All right.
Spider Noir was greenlit to swing into Amazon Prime Video and MGM Plus in May. Cage will star following his appearance as Spider-Man Noir in Sony's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse film. That project's Phil Lord, Chris Miller, and Amy Pascal all returned to help develop Spider Noir and are attached as producers. No release date just yet, but it's expected to premiere domestically on MGM Plus, then globally on Prime Video. Noir, of course, tells the story of an aging and down on his luck private investigator, Cage, in 1930s New York, who was forced to grapple with his past life as the city's one and only superhero. So they're still putting all the pieces together and still hiring and doing casting, but it's shaping up pretty nicely. It's got some really good producers on it. Just having Cage, Gleason, and now Lamorne Morris, three fantastic actors, man. Like, so I think this is in really good hand, and it's going to be different. We're so used to seeing all these, versions of Peter Parker and now Miles Morales is more coming in the front. I've never
Mm-hmm.
ever explored or done anything when it comes to the black and white, Spider-Man and Spider Noir, and so we saw the character pop up in the old school cartoons, and now we've seen him pop up in comics, but nothing, in big media. So I'm looking forward to this, man. It's going to be something different, and it's also going to be cool to see it all done in black and white, but as
Oh,
well, which
definitely.
so
That's
uh,
gonna give a different feel to Spider-Man in general.
yeah, yeah, because if for those folks that may not have seen the character, so he will still don the mask from time to time, right? But he walks around in sort of like a brown trench coat
Detective.
and yeah, yeah, and a Dick Tracy looking style hat that
Hmm.
fits those times of the 1930s. So it's going to be it's just going to be interesting and something completely different. So I was actually glad when I first heard about it. I got excited. I was like, "Oh, okay." They usually do everything of the new stuff, or everybody's regular Spidey, and this is going to be something completely different. So it's going to be a real detective crime
It's gonna
based
be
one.
completely different, spooky,
Mm.
and it is a great way for people who are fans of Spider-Man
Mm.
who don't know the history of it to explore more history on Spider-Man.
Yes.
Plus, and we have so many different iterations of Spider-Man and Spider-Women and Spider-Girl out there that those are stories waiting to be brought to the either live action or animated screen, waiting to be told.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Like for example, the Spider Pig, bro. You can turn, bro.
Yeah, I love it.
That could be a cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spider-Man 27 Miguel. Imagine this, Spider-Man 27 Miguel O'Hara, right? You can
Mm.
make that. You can make that a Spider-Man 27 or 28 27 28 sorry 2099. Sorry,
Yeah, yeah,
Spider-Man
yes,
2099. You
yes.
can make that a rated M anime
Yeah.
for mature audience only, for adults like us to delve into it. It's He's a good guy in his own way, but at the same time, you could delve into like the fucked up shit he had to do, et cetera, et cetera, et
And
cetera.
that's,
Like, like, bro, they can take this so many ways. Or Superior Spider-Man when Doc Ock was Spider-Man. That motherfucker was bad ass. So there's so many iterations of Spider-Man that they can bring. Spider-Man Ottawa, like we were just talking about. That is a great different
and if
old and it's like of the old school aspect. It's not. I won't say multiverse because yeah, you can say it because it's a different variant, but this is way back then, so
yes,
it
and
can, bro.
if the
They
show,
have that. They could go so many ways with this.
well, if I was going to say, if the show follows the Spider-Man noir comics,
Hmm.
Robbie, which is the black reporter, right? Robbie investigates
Yes.
the disappearance of African Americans who have been captured by Doctor Octopus for some reason, and he gets
Yeah. Yeah.
captured as well, and is literally lobotomized. Um, you know, maybe they might change that for the show because it just depends on where the rating's going to sit. Like the
Hmm.
whole lobotomite, maybe they just have him getting killed instead of lobotomized.
Right.
But maybe if they get an M rating, maybe they. I mean, they show a little bit of it. They don't show the whole lobotomy. I mean, they've shown some grotesque shit in a lot of different shows like Dexter and the like. So
Oh yeah.
a lobotomy really is not gonna be anything new for anybody to sort of visually see. Uh,
Hmm.
but the other thing side characters like this, Black Cat, Doctor Connors, etc., is really what the MCU Spider-Man is missing. Um,
Right.
I always guessed that they planned on doing more with Robbie in Toby Spider-Man universe
Hmm.
before Spider-Man 4 was cancelled because he flat out knew Peter was Spider-Man before anybody else did. But this is going to be, as I said, this is going to be cool, and it's a darker take on Spider-Man as well.
Right.
Um, just as I said, like poor Robbie in the comics gets lobotomized, like so. It is a dark attack. It's not just as simple as someone using a gun and shooting someone, and you see the smallest pool of blood. This, yeah, they did some messed up stuff in the Spider Noir comics.
Mm.
So it's it's going to be good. I think. I think it's going to be really really. And of course, lastly, before we can get on out of here, um, DC's movies and TV shows, what's coming and what to expect. So, a lot is changing for DC's lineup of movies and shows in the years ahead. Luckily, despite the rash of cancellations affecting everything from the Batgirl movie to HBO Max shows like Titans and Doom Patrol, it's not all bad news and it looks exciting on the horizon. James Gunn and Peter Safran are now the co-CEOs of DC Studios, and they have a strategy for a more cohesive and interconnected lineup of content moving forward. It all
Mm.
starts with Chapter 1 that's dubbed Gods and Monsters. That can be very difficult to keep track of all the big changes at DC these days, but now it's all being put into a comprehensive list of everything currently in the works. So, what are the next DC movies coming out or TV shows coming out? Right, so here we go. We have got um, Joker Folie à Deux, which comes out in October 4th this year.
Nice.
Creature Commandos, the animated series, hits in December of this year. The Penguin, Matt Reeves' TV project, is apparently late 2024. Man, I watched the newest trailer of that yesterday. I was showing Trin, and wow, that is going to be an epic freaking TV series with the acting on that. You can't even tell that's Colin Farrell under all that makeup. I'm telling you, he did such a great job at that. Then you've got the Superman movie, which hits of July 11th next year. July 26, 2026 is the movie Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. The Batman Part
Okay.
2 hits in 2026 on October 2nd. Then, to wrap up, obviously, the current Superman and Lois with season 4, that's been greenlit and they're in filming right now for that final season of that. Then we've got others that are in development, so no dates are set, but they are currently being worked on. So you have The Brave and the Bold, The Authority, Swamp Thing, Teen Titans, Waller series plus Peacemaker season 2, Booster
Can't
Gold.
wait for Peacemaker.
Booster Gold TV series. That's going to be comedic as hell. Paradise Lost TV series. Lanterns TV series. The Sandman season
Wait,
2.
Lantern? Like Green Lantern?
Yes, it's going to be a live action Green Lantern featuring both.
Really?
Yeah, featuring both Green Lanterns. So
Ooh,
you're going to have
hey.
Hal Jordan and John as well.
Nice.
Um,
Hell yeah, let's go.
Sandman season 2. Constantine 2 with Keanu coming back. Um, Harley,
What? Let's go.
yeah, Gotham PD TV series. Uh, Now they were working on or had ideas for an Arkham TV series, but that has just recently been scrapped. But
Right.
Gotham PD is another one that they have in the works. Harley Quinn and a bunch of other animated titles are also in development. So it's going to be really cool. Obviously, the kickstart, it's going to be the new Joker movie,
Mm.
which is said to be, um, obviously because of what they're going to. It's going to be a little bit of a musical, but a dark musical, not like a light-hearted musical.
Mhm.
And not all musical, by the way, but like there's going to be musical numbers, obviously, because Lady Gaga's up in there too. Uh,
Yeah.
she looks really good as like that particular version of Harley Quinn, mind you, as well, because it's actually literally showing you the progression of her as Harleen Quinzel, the psychiatrist, and gets sucked into the Joker's world and makes the change. So that I love the first movie, with our boy Joaquin Phoenix in the role. I think he's a really good Joker as well, and I love that with this it's making it more real, so it's like real set in a real setting in a real world. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
real different take, but they've executed it quite well. Creature Commandos. So surprisingly, Gunn is relying on one of DC's most obscure properties to launch the new DCU. Gunn has already written a 7-episode first season of this animated series, which deals with Amanda Waller forming another team of incarcerated supercriminals to save the world. They're called the Creature
Really?
Commandos. Yeah. Um,
Okay.
so it comes out in December. So it is obscure. I remember the team up and that. I remember some comics being done on it. It's with a bunch of creatures though. You've got like a almost a zombie swamp thing esque thing. You got a werewolf. You've got a vampire. Um, yeah, it should be pretty good. And I'm glad they're keeping that animated because you would have had to do some big budgets to do all the makeup work otherwise. And then we
Right.
got Superman. And it's funny every time they've shown new pictures in that Trin always when she sees it, she goes, "Oh, he side on a little bit. He kind of looks a little bit like Henry a bit. This guy." And I'm like, he does a little bit side on in that. I know people have been. Some people love the new Superman costume. Some absolutely despise it. I don't think it looks as bad as some people that despise it have you believe. It looks
Mhm.
it looks fine to me, uh, but it's shaping up to be interesting. So the film's going to explore, Clark's struggle to balance his Kryptonian heritage with his Kansas upbringing and deal with the challenge of being a kind hero in an unkind world. And James Gunn's fully directing the film. So that's going to be one of the big important stops along the way for this new DCU. Uh,
Mhm.
as I said, David Corran Sweat, I think, um, is a good choice since they were doing recasting and that. He looks the part to me. He even bulked up. I love the fact that they got Nicholas Hoult to play Lex Luthor. Again, another great young upcoming actor who's been in a lot of things lately, actually, Nicholas Hoult. But he looks the goods as Lex Luthor from some of the pictures that have circulated. Uh, then, of course, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. So this Supergirl is one who spent much of her early life living on a fragment of Krypton that was dislodged in the planet's destruction. What Gunn described as a horrible situation where she watched everybody around her die. Is
Oh
unknown.
shit.
Yeah, it's unknown yet if the Flash movie Supergirl Sasha Cully will return for this film or if the role will be completely recast. So a bit more darker take on Supergirl because of the approach he's taking there. Um, she's probably going to start off until she starts, coming to Earth and learning human ways, and that she's probably going to be quite angry and aggressive after having that kind of start to her life. The Batman Part Two, which is Robert Pattinson's Batman, um, which we know has got nothing to do with the Batman that James Gunn's going to do, but it's still a part of the DCU. Matt Reeves is behind that, and he signed up for a multi-year deal with it. So there's probably going to be more of his version of the Batman. Again, he's taking a more darker but real approach in a real kind of world,
Mhm.
even with the way he's presenting the villains, because uh, uh, like in the first one, the Riddler, I don't think anybody was expecting the Riddler to look the way he looked. So
Right.
it was a more realistic approach to that. Uh, the Brave and the Bold. So DC's confirmed that we'll have two cinematic versions of Batman going forward, as the DCU will get its own Dark Knight alongside the standalone movie of Matt Reeves' The Batman. The Brave and the Bold looks to deal with the full Bat family, centering specifically on Bruce Wayne's 10-year-old son, Damien. So, this is the movie I was just talking about.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, the movie will draw heavily from Grant Morrison's Batman comics. It is unclear how the film will connect to the events of the Flash movie, if at all, but that film's director, Andy Muschietti, is confirmed to be directing The Brave and the Bold. Um, So I love that they're going with that story. I do have a little bit of queries because of Andy being the director behind it, and the Flash movie. It wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the greatest either.
Mhm.
Maybe he's learnt from a few of the mistakes he made with that movie, and of course he will be under the watch of James Gunn as well. So if James Gunn don't like something, he might step in and go, "Ah, no, we're not messing this up." Um, but it's it, it it's going to be interesting because Damien in it. This is when he's initially playing Robin before he ends up
All right,
becoming
be right back.
Batwing, um, and he's quite uber aggressive and murderous and very angry. So it's going to be an interesting story to tackle. Uh, the Authority is DC's anti-Justice League, are getting their own
Ooh, okay.
movie. The Authority is a group of powerful heroes who take a far more proactive approach to meeting out justice. So that could be quite a visceral movie as well. And it's basically going to be um, obviously a more government run one, but like similar sort of way, I guess, of except without chips in their head of Suicide Squad, I would imagine. So yeah, it's got to like, and I think at one point Superman was leading the Authority. I'm pretty sure he was leading the Authority. Uh,
Ooh, okay.
Swamp Thing. Now, Swamp Thing may not have found much success on the short-lived DC universe, but DC is still getting big on this lumbering monster for their new cinematic universe. The Swamp Thing
Mhm.
movie will explore the dark origins of Alec Holland's monstrous alter ego. Logan and Indiana Jones director James Mangold is writing the script for the. So that's a positive. It's got a good writer there behind it and directing it. So I'm looking forward to that. Swamp Thing's not. Um, it's funny. I've talked to a lot of people. They're like, I didn't know he was a DC character. I was like, yeah, he's a DC character. He's just not as prominent as other characters, clearly. So it's great to see him get his own thing and be brought to prominence. And I think they'll do a good job with that as well. Uh, so Teen Titans are also returning to live action following the conclusion of Max's Titans series. A new Teen Titans movie is in the works, with the screenplay being penned by Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow writer Anna Noguera. It's unknown whether the movie is meant to be part of the DCU or if it's going to be its own standalone project, but that's all we know right now. Uh,
Mhm.
and Guns Peacemaker is getting an Amanda Waller spin-off series, as well as obviously its own second season. Viola Davis will reprise the Amanda Waller role in a series that builds on the ending of Peacemaker season one. And several other Peacemaker alums will also return in season two, as well as her spin-off.
He's a
That
fucking asshole in that movie.
she is, she is,
Jesus.
yeah, she knows when it's time that she has to be an asshole for the greater good, though. Like she's a
All
very
right.
hard woman. Even with the way she handles the Suicide Squad and talks to them, like she don't take no shit.
Not at all.
No, so um, I think it's going to be cool seeing her more in the role and get her own series. I think it's a interesting enough character that the series will work quite well. And she has very great. She's always has had a great stage presence, but as Waller, oh man, she commands that stage. So
Paula
um,
Davis, yes.
yeah, she's
Yeah, she's a
yes.
fucking fantastic actress.
And then we got Booster Gold TV series. So the lovably goofy Booster Gold is getting his own series as part of the new DCU. Booster Gold will explore the character's imposter syndrome as he travels back in time and uses the technology of the future to make himself a present day superhero. He is he is freaking hilarious in the Kaylee Cuoco adult version, animated version of Harley Quinn, man. But he's fucking funny as fuck. So I think it'll be cool. I just don't know. It doesn't say whether or not it's going to be animated or if it's going to be live action. But either way, it's going to be a comedy series regardless because
Definitely.
his character's just hilarious. He's like the wannabe superhero, but yeah, he just has until he goes back in time and does something to him, he has no powers whatsoever. He dresses up as a superhero, but that's about it. It's like Halloween every day for him.
Wow.
Paradise Lost TV series. So while a new Wonder Woman movie isn't on the immediate horizon, DC is moving forward with a TV series set on the island of Themyscira. A Paradise Lost will explore the origins and political intrigue of Diana's home. And the series is being billed as the DC equivalent of Game of Thrones. So,
Ooh.
yeah, that could be really, really good if done correctly. And it'll
Yeah,
be
let's hope they don't fuck it up.
nice to see it on the screen of her home and life, what it was like back then before she again she came to Earth and everything. So
Mm.
another interesting one. Lanterns. So we're finally
I
getting
can't
that
wait. I can't wait for that.
the oft-promised Green Lantern show. Lanterns is a high-concept detective drama in the vein of True Detective. The series revolves around Hal Jordan and John Stewart. It's unclear if this series is at all connected to the Green Lantern Corps show that Greg
Mhm.
Berlanti was executive producing at one time before it got scrapped. But yeah, this is done in the same vein as True Detective. It should be really another one that's going to be a winner for them. So yeah, man, it should be pretty good. Pretty good. Um, what else have we got here? So yeah, that's sort of everything on the horizon. I think there's talks too that they're gonna still do something with Jason Momoa and his Aquaman as well. Whether or not that's another movie of his or he gets introduced in somewhere else, but James Gunn's quite happy with him as Aquaman, which is probably a good thing because he really popularized that character.
Yep.
Nobody really liked Aquaman before Jason Momoa played, and then they even changed his look in the comics to match it. Because everyone kind of always made jokes about him, you know, blonde hair, bright orangey freaking suit in the comics and the cartoons, and he was like at the bottom of most people's lists. And then Jason Momoa plays him with the badass
And
long hair and
it
tats,
just
and
made him an instant badass.
yeah, and he shot up people's list and like, you know what? Yeah, we'll be Aquaman. We want to see more Aquaman, or we want to play as Aquaman. So I think, yeah, keeping him in that role, and the fact that, as I said, they even changed the design and the look of Aquaman in the comics to look like Jason's version. Um,
But
yeah, you couldn't not keep him around. He does a great job. He loves playing the role, and I really, even off the top of my head, I couldn't see anybody else taking on that role and making it as grand as what it is. So you got a lot of stuff though, bro. A lot of stuff there in development for this new DCU, and we've said for the longest time that
James Gunn ain't fucking around. Seems like.
no, and I love James. Most I won't say all,
Oh, I
but
love James Gunn too.
most of James Gunn's stuff, everything that he usually touches turns to gold. A
Hmm.
good 9 times out of 10. And I think he was a fantastic choice along with Peter Safran to lead DCU. It was floundering.
Agree.
Um, they sat back and had disaster after disaster while Marvel's films were all doing really well, and so that yeah, they got a lot of catching up to do. But
Hmm.
Marvel's now on realistically with their MCU, it's now sort of hitting that sluggish period on the decline, while DCU's only got one way to go. It's at the bottom. It's just only got to go
Dude,
up. You
did
know.
you see the new trailer for Agatha Harkness?
Yes.
It looks
Yeah. It
good,
does, man.
bro.
It
It
does.
looks fucking heat.
Catherine
It looks
Hahn,
real
man.
good.
She's a good actress too.
She's
And
a good actress, and dude, there's some people on the internet was saying, "Oh, who asked for this?" Like, dude was mad about it. I'm like, bro, did you not watch WandaVision? They
yeah,
literally said at like the ending of the
she
show,
she was an
she
interesting
she
character.
she was an interesting character, and I never knew about her character before that. For number
Right,
one,
right,
number
yeah.
two, if you watch WandaVision, that was literally that was gonna be the next out not the
The
next
follow up,
show,
yeah.
but yeah, but that was gonna be the follow-up to that one. And that's
Yes.
exactly what it is. It took a
Yeah.
little minute, but I saw the trailer. I was
Um,
like, yo, I'm here for it, and I can't fucking wait.
yeah, it looks good. It looks good. And it's, as I said, it's an interesting character. So,
Yes.
I that guy might not have wanted it, but there's a lot of people that did ask for it because she did such a great job with the character herself too. Again, perfect. A lot of these times, it's all about the casting of the role and if people can attach to it. And as I said, Catherine Hahn's been a fantastic actress for quite a long time now, and yeah, I can't
Yes.
wait to see more of this character of hers, man. So I hope it does really well and gets greenlit, of
Same,
course,
bro.
for a second season more. And you know, again, it's just like Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, man. Like, you
Walla
know,
Davis is a fucking fantastic actress. Like
she can do
her, pl-
anything.
her playing what's the lady who she plays as again? I forgot her
Amanda
fucking
Waller,
name.
Amanda Waller, yeah.
She plays Amanda Waller, bro. She made me hate her. I
Hey,
thought it was a little
hey,
fucking asshole she was, and I fucking loved it.
yeah. It's funny, you love the actress, but she made you hate the character. I
Yeah,
love you, Viola, but I can't stand
yeah. I love you,
you.
Walla Davis, but your character, I fucking hate you, dude. But that just shows
But
you she
that's
did a fantastic
yeah,
job.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we say the same thing with wrestling. If the heels can get you to hate them like that, they're doing their job correctly, and she's doing
Of
her job
course, like for
correctly.
example, on Dominic Mysterio, little shit.
He got his. He's gonna get his man. It was funny. I thought she was gonna drop him though when she entered the ring, but no, she didn't.
I thought she was gonna drop his ass right there too.
Yeah, nah, she'll pick her moment, man. She's gonna make him squirm and wait. I just love the video
Oh,
that WWE put out on X of Damian Priest backstage. He goes consequences. He's sitting there laughing. It's the consequences. He's like, I
yeah,
tried to
that's
warn him. I tried to warn him.
it's hilarious, and I find it funny. Liv Morgan, her thing is, oh, Liv's revenge tour.
Mm.
And you did, you got your revenge, but then as soon as Rhea popped back up, you ran like a coward.
Oh yeah, she was gone, bro.
Number one, you ran like a coward, and two, you're supposed to be the champion, right? So why are you running? You supposed to hold it down.
She's gonna get her butt kicked when that
Oh,
match comes up, bro.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Hey,
Uh,
Lemetius! Shout out to Lemetius. Lemons in the
Lemon,
house.
what up, what up, what up?
It's good,
So,
bro.
and what's the next preview? Is it SummerSlam?
Yes, a couple more
Yes,
weeks. Yeah,
August. Yes,
yeah,
SummerSlam. Oh yeah, Rhea's getting her belt back at SummerSlam. That's perfect. That's perfect.
yeah, bro. Oh yeah, she definitely will. She definitely will because there was no plan of having her lose
Yeah,
it anyway. You know,
of course.
if she didn't get injured, the plan was for her to break records and set records. And from what I'm hearing, when she wins it again, obviously barring injury derailing it, they're gonna continue on that path. So she wins it again. We're gonna get a lengthy run apparently because they want her to break the women some records for the women's division and set some records. So
Good. She deserve it.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
She deserve it
she is without a
because
doubt the
let's
number one in the women's division. She is the top of the food chain in the women. Like she's the one
all right,
leading it
cause
forward.
all right, because I believe it's only two, maybe I think it's only three women on the roster who I perceive as a threat for Rhea. It's Bianca Belair, Zoe Stark. No, actually four. Bianca Belair, Zoe Starks. Who else? God damn it. Bianca Belair, Zoe Starks.
Jade Cargill.
Jade Cargill. I would say Nia Jax, but Nia Jax, she on Raw, SmackDown.
I think she's on
She's on
Raw.
SmackDown. She's on
Oh,
SmackDown.
she's on SmackDown. No, she's on
Yeah, she's
SmackDown.
on SmackDown. So Jade Cargill, Nia Jax. Wait, no, Nia Jax is on SmackDown. So Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair. Zoe Starks, and it's someone else. I can't put my finger on it.
Oh, the one
Oh,
that had matches with them in the NXT. They had a good feud. They're actually best friends in real life. Raquel
Shayna
Rodriguez.
Baszler. No. Raquel, yeah, no, she's out. She's out. She's a threat, but only by her height. Just by
Yeah, I
her.
mean
She's
they need to
like she
I was going to say they need to
Raquel
rebuild her
doesn't do it
back
for
up.
me.
Yeah, no, they
And
need
Shayna
to.
Baszler, because Shayna Baszler was a monster in NXT.
I love the new trio team too that they got going on.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me
that
too.
that looks good.
I'm
But
just so
no,
happy to see her back, Sonya Deville.
they need to build Raquel back up because they did introduce her to the main roster pretty well, and then it just went sideways, and then she got injured, and then she came back, and they didn't really do much, and then she got injured again, and then they haven't really. So they need for her to really be a true threat. They need to build her back up again. But I want to see them build her back up again because her and Rhea put on some of the best freaking matches and had an awesome feud in NXT. Um,
Hmm.
and uh, no one could beat Rhea in NXT until Raquel, and Raquel was the one to beat her for the championship. So I want to
Makes
see that
sense.
feud reignited, just like um, I want to see another feud reignited in Gunther versus the Mad Dragon, Ilian
E
Dragunov.
E Ilya Dragunov, bro, they beat the
Yeah,
fuck out of each other in NXT.
they did, bro. Yeah, those slaps, bro, were heard around the fucking world. It was like,
Yes.
good
Yes.
lord.
Yes.
It was like, good lord. Um, but man, those two put on some fantastic matches. Oh man, really good.
Hmm.
But no, that's what we got for you this week, folks. I hope you've enjoyed the conversation. I thought we'd finish off the night with some nice stuff from the DCU and, of course, Nicolas Cage's Spider Noir series, which is shaping up nicely as well. Again, we also covered the Xbox price hike stuff and how that split the community, and community just needs to get the fuck over. But it is what it is. It happens
I
all the
agree.
time. We know. I say to people all the time. I said it to Trina a million times. They come out at Microsoft and they do a show and it's got everybody on a high and everyone's like, yeah, cheering them. And I'm like, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for that pin to drop. I'm waiting for it. And then, sure enough, they do something after a great show like that that splits the community and everybody's half are like, and half are crying. And it's and it happens in the gaming industry. These companies, they can take 2, 3 steps forward, and then they take about 5 or 7 steps backward, and then they come forward again. So it is. They like. I swear, a lot of these gaming companies like playing with people's hearts.
Yeah.
Just pull up the heartstrings, just playing with people's emotions. I swear. But no, it is what it is. I want to thank everybody, of course, who's joined us from the rockin' one, rocking out with us like she always does. Shout out to you. Back from the dead. Great to see you, brother. As I said, it's been a minute. Of course, Lamethius, the big brother, the OG, double OG. Shout out to you, Lemon. Who else did we have up in here? Carlo
Yeah,
dropped
back
in
from the dead.
earlier. Yeah, back from
Back
the
from the
dead, dude.
dead. Andrea Paul.
Yeah, brother Dreadpool, the man with the mythical beard, the beard that just keeps growing and growing. Of course, Carlo jumped in here earlier, as I mentioned. Shout out to the brother as well. And yeah, all the lurkers that are lurked, as I say each and every week, don't have to be in chat. But as long as you're tuning in, you're enjoying yourselves and enjoying the show, always greatly appreciate everybody that shows the love and the support. But apart from that, Yobi, did you want to let the fine folks know where they can find you, brother?
Yeah, you can find me at Twitter at Legendary Yobi. That's it. Peace, love, light. Have a good night. Stay safe. If you're out and about, wear your seatbelt. I cannot stress that shit enough. Thank you for your
Yes,
time.
yes, definitely. Don't drink and drive, and wear your seatbelt, please, please, for the love of God.
Exactly.
Too many major accidents on the roads these days. Too many, man.
If you want to drink and drive, there's one safe way you can do it. You can have your chair set up in the living room, and you can have your steering wheel with the brakes.
Ah,
With
and
the
yeah,
brakes.
yeah.
Yeah. You can have your driving simulator cockpit set up in your living room, and you can drink and drive responsibly.
Yep. Other than that, you go to your local fair and get into the bumper dodgem cars and drive them
Dude, I haven't
around.
rode bumper cars in so fucking long,
Oh,
bro.
bro, now that is
Wow.
fun if you're not completely drunk, but if you're a bit tipsy, that is that is
Tipsy,
fun.
yes, but if
Yeah,
you're drunk and doing that, you're gonna throw up all everywhere.
I went one year. This is when I was living over in New York with my dad, and I went one year with a friend, and he was
Mhm.
that drunk that he just kept going around, and so the people had to come over and go, no, you got to go around. And he's just going around.
Was it that bad?
He was that bad. Every time he started, he thought he was going right around the whole thing. He's like, no, and I'd just go, bang, smash him in the
Damn, it
back.
was that bad. That's crazy.
Oh, he didn't know where he was. It was funny. It was funny to watch. I'm like, dude, there's a whole track here. Why are you going around just in the? It's like he was doing a donut, like.
Yeah,
But
he was out of it.
yeah,
That's
he
what it
was out.
sounds
He
like.
was
He
having
was out of
fun.
it.
That was the most. He was laughing, so
Long he
he
has
was
fun.
happy.
That's all that matters.
Positively enough though, because that's what I was expecting too. Because he was going round like this, and his eyes were open. I'm like, we're gonna hop off here, and he's gonna be putting his head in the bin over there. But no, he didn't.
Exactly.
He didn't. He did the smart thing. He was drinking, but he decided to eat after the bumper car. So I was like,
Smart man.
yeah.
That's a smart man.
Because it's funny, you go to these fairs, right, and they got roller coasters, and you see people there eating hot dog, big nacho and stuff. And then they decide to go on the roller coaster, and then they like, yeah.
Oh yeah, it
Like,
was done for
no.
after that.
Go and do all the exciting rides first, then go get your food. You're good then. But
Exactly.
apart from that, folks, of course, you find me at the Moon Man absolutely everywhere on the X app. If you're on the Xbox app or on Steam, add me up on there. I'm always up for a party chat or game. Other than that, you can find me here every Monday evening with the cerebral pineapple who will power bomb you into a bunch of pineapples, cerebral Paul.
Oh no.
Where we, yeah, geez, that would hurt just thinking about that. That'd hurt.
Oh no.
But you can catch us every Monday evening on Pop Up Powerbomb, where we talk all things wrestling. So if you're a wrestling fan and enthusiast,
Yes.
jump in. We're gonna one day soon. We're gonna get Yobi here himself when he's got a free Monday. We're gonna get him on the show
Yes,
because
indeed. One day soon. Soon,
this
soon.
this man can talk wrestling just as well as both me and Paul. So I always like getting, as
Yes,
I like to refer
indeed.
to it, wrestling encyclopedias on the podcast. Wrestling
Basically.
encyclopedia,
Basically.
yeah, man. Who needs an actual book when you just have that knowledge, going all the way. Uh,
Exactly.
Otherwise, every Wednesday evening, catch us right here again on 4GQ TV or with the Backlog Bastards, where we talk all things gaming related, cover all platforms, including PC and mobile, and anything else in between.
Hmm.
And if you haven't done so already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and of course the notification bell. You know when any of us go live. A lot of great content on this channel from the two podcasts I mentioned. You got the 4GQ podcast tomorrow with Animated Evil, Carlo, PK, and Paul. You've also got the All Women's podcast with Dreadpool's lovely wife, Death Dealer, as well as the sister Cozy Beluga. That do that every Sunday. It's a bit of a variety show. They talk about whatever's crossing their minds. And
Hmm.
of course, you have a lot of great, interesting interviews that Paul and Carlo do and put up. And that covers across many different uh, genres and industries. So, yeah, do check out them as well. Until then, until the next time we see you, hope you enjoy whatever you're playing right now, gaming wise, and enjoy the rest of your evening or day wherever you may be in this fine world. All right. Good night, everybody. Signing off.
Peace.